Hi, good morning to you. Good morning. If you're online, guys, if you're online, good morning. Welcome to our CharterQuest Open Day. We're excited to be with you here today, both you yourselves who are here face to face, as well as those of you who are online. First things first, let me see if I can. For those of you who are online, I wonder why you chose, the vast majority of you chose to attend our Open Day online. Maybe you think that there's still COVID. COVID is finished, right? COVID is finished. We didn't have any lockdown in December, and they are busy changing. They're taking out the curfews and the rest. It shows that COVID is finished. So if you're online, you must start getting ready to start coming into campus. Okay, but anyway, if you're online, this is my image. I know that you probably would wanna. I don't think you really wanna see me, but at least you got my image. You can see the face who is talking. Those who are here face to face, they can literally see me. I just put this for your benefit if you're online. My name is Valentine. I'm a chartered management accountant myself. You're all here. I also have a number of other qualifications. But for now, let me just say I'm CIMA qualified. I would be talking to you about the CIMA Open Day. First things first, here's our agenda. Why CIMA? How CIMA? Basically, why would you want to do CIMA? And if you want to do CIMA, how should you go about it? That is the main theme about our Open Day. For us to address that, obviously, we're going to structure our presentation today in two parts. There's the first part, which will be run by myself. Those are parts number 1 to 3 that constitutes blue. Okay, thank you. All right. First of all, what are we going to be looking at? We'll talk about briefly our understanding of who you are as our audience. We did a quick survey to find out who you are, why you're taking a vast part of your Saturday to be here with us today. We're going to share with you what we found, and obviously so you understand why we've structured our session the way we have. Right, number 2, we'll talk briefly about who we are as ourselves as CharterQuest. Number 3, we'll delve straight into the CIMA qualification itself. The main things I want to talk about there. What is the qualification all about and why employers really love the qualification? We will talk to you about those who've never done CIMA before. A number of people pass first time, but a good number of people also fail. These are very difficult exams. Why many pass first time and why some also fail multiple times. Then we'll give you some, it's an open day. I'm sure you're wanting to get your questions answered. You're wanting to, if you want to do CIMA, you wanted to choose which college is the best to choose. So we'll give you some ideas about how to choose your CIMA college as wisely as we can, without necessarily marketing ourselves, but we'll give you some tips in terms of what we think you should take into account. Obviously, the next part of the presentation will be run by my colleague, who is now there on the screen. You'll see her when she has the opportunity to come up. She's called Patience Mukondwa. She's the head of operations. There are 3 things in red that she will be dealing with. She'll go into our study options. You see, like we said, COVID is finished. That's what we'll talk about, post-COVID study options. COVID is finished. We'll talk to you briefly about the study options that we have to cater for your different needs and requirements. This is you're going to deal with questions and answers. I will deal with questions and answers too. So when I do my part, I will take questions on the first 3 items. When she does her part, she will also take questions. I'm a lecturer myself. I teach CIMA, I teach ACC, I teach CFA. So as it stands now, I'm here to spend some time within this open day, but I've got a class that is going to be happening in our Rivonia campus starting at 11:30. So I've been instructed to do my part as briefly as I can, take your questions so that by just before 11, I can get out of here. So I'll deal with the questions that I can handle on my part, but I'll leave you in the capable hands of my colleague, Patience Mukonda, who will deal with the subsequent questions and anything that arise from our presentation. Okay, so that's basically some idea what we're trying to do. Did some slight last minute edits on this time. Put up the wrong one, put some animation, but anyway, still the same. Okay, so first of all, who are you? Who are you in general? We did a quick survey, and if you took some time to reply to our survey, we're really grateful, because when we do a new market and open day, people come and you don't know what people are looking for. So we try and ask you to get a sense what you're looking for. About 48 of you managed to respond. We asked you, how would you be attending the open day? The vast majority of you, which is in brown, 75%, say you'll be attending your open day online. So I'm sure that you're all picking this online because of you still have COVID concerns. In the past, whenever we talk about open day, majority were coming face to face. Very few were online. Sometimes we'd even running online. So everybody now seems to be preferring online. And the next, about 16% of you say you're coming face to face. So welcome. We also asked, we sought to know whether you are doing CIMA for the first time. The big blue there, that should tell you what we're going to be focused. Almost 64% of you said, yes, I am still new to CIMA. I have never registered with CIMA and I've never registered with CharterQuest. So you're like about as new as it gets, 64% of you who opted to attend our open day. So you obviously need some understanding as to whether CIMA is for you, and if CIMA is for you, whether CharterQuest is the right type of institution that can help you get there. We are hoping to address that as part of this. I mean, there are also some two other fractions. I'll call this and this. I can combine the two. It's almost like 20, let's say 30%. 30% of you're not new to CIMA. You already know CIMA. You've registered, but I'm sure these are people who are not. You've registered, but you've not started studying, or you've registered and you've started studying on your own, or you've registered and you've been studying with a different college and maybe it hasn't gone well. You're trying to find out what does CharterQuest have in store. All right, there's some small fraction of others who registered from far back as 2016. So these are understanding of who you are. When you start seeing we are tilting our presentations because we're trying to speak to those different issues. We sought out to ask in specific terms what you want our presentation to cover. I know it's not as clear as it could be here, but I'm going to just speak to it. It's clear on my screen here. Okay, the biggest number of you in terms of replies say you want more information about our CIMA fees. You know, that's a very long fraction. Our CIMA, many of you want to hear about the CIMA fees and exam fees. That's going to be handled by my colleague. The next biggest fraction of you, almost 35%, say you want to learn more again about CIMA. I suspect it's the same who was saying CIMA is you're doing CIMA for the first time. Now, in between there, you have a number of people who want to know more about study options. For instance, some of you want to know about our timetables. Some of you want to know about a bit about CharterQuest. So there's some spread in terms of what you're looking for, and that is also going to influence our presentation. We asked if you were going to study with CIMA, what is the route? It's a fairly good balance. What type of study options are you looking at? We gave 3 options: interactive online. My colleague will be talking a bit more about what interactive online is. It's almost like face-to-face, just that you're doing it online, but you can interact, you can ask questions, you can hear your colleagues in class. But she's going to talk a bit more. We asked, do you want to study interactive online? Do you want to study face-to-face where you really come into our campuses? Or do you want to do self-study where we give you pre-recorded videos? There's a fairly even split. 33% of you want to do self-study, and I'm referring to this. 39% of you want to come into campus. This is interesting. 6 months ago, this percentage was almost like 1%. This shows that more and more people really think that COVID is over. Face-to-face has always been the most effective in terms of getting results for CIMA. So it's good to know that. That's why we have a number of campuses everywhere. But it's good to know that the biggest majority now are considering to come back to campus. And obviously, then interactive online is almost the last category. So some fairly even split in terms of your interest. Okay, so that then determines what we're going to share with you. We also went out to say, okay, but can you just ask the specific question? If you want an open day to address, what sorts of questions must the open day address? We've structured those into 2 parts, and I really thank you for taking your time to give us these questions. We would hope to answer them through our presentation, but then recap again at the end. But if there are more questions that arise, which we may have missed, you're more than welcome to ask those. So there are 2 parts. The first part will be answered by myself in my presentation. The second part by my colleague, which is part 2, Patience Mokondwa. And some of the questions, like, I need some advice. Somebody is asking, how do I choose between CIMA and ACCA? I need advice. Basically, you're trying to decide, must I do CIMA, must I do ACCA? Okay, we're hoping to address that for you. Some people are asking, in which industries are you able to get a job if you are CIMA qualified? They want to know, if I'm CIMA qualified, which industries am I able to get a job? Okay, others are asking, what is the duration to study CIMA? That's number 3 and 4. Number 5, what types of job designations can I achieve after I finish CIMA? Number 6, what really is the difference between a traditional BCom stream and CIMA? Some I want you to know, what are the exemptions for people with MBAs? If we've got an MBA, what type of exemptions I'm going to look at? Part 2, questions like, what are the fees for CIMA on behalf of students, dates when exams are written, and will it be online or at campus? How to connect and attend live stream classes. That's part 2. I'm going to leave my colleague to deal with that. Okay, let me go straight to part 1, which is the part that really is within the scope of my section of the presentation. Right. I guess since we've gotten some sense who you are, let's just briefly talk about who we are. We CharterQuest. The name CharterQuest means the quest to become chartered. If you are here today, it's because you want to become a chartered management accountant. Tomorrow, others will come, they want to become a chartered finance analyst. The next day, others will come, they want to become a chartered certified accountant, or they want to become chartered accountant in South Africa. So CharterQuest simply means, if your desire is really to become chartered, whether chartered management accountant, chartered certified accountant, chartered financial analyst, any of these chartered qualifications, that's really what we do. Hence, we call ourselves CharterQuest, to help you, inspire your aspirations to have that chartered behind your name. We've been operating for, I think, 12 years. We're just about a few months to 12 years now. So in April, we should update this thing. It should now move to 12 years. We've been operating since 2010, right? So almost like 12 years. We don't only do CIMA, we run a number of qualifications. We have 10 accreditations with various different qualifications that we run, and we have a number of campuses. But I guess what is most important to you today is CIMA, because CIMA is just one of the several many qualifications that. Why is this important? Your desire to study CIMA, if you're partnering with a college, you need a college that is accredited, that is reputable, it's got a track record. If a college has been operating for 12 years with this multiple number of accreditations, that is enough indication that you can really invest your time and your money and your resources with this company and know that they will partner with you to give you the results that you desire. So, all right. So that's just some idea of who we are. I'm sure as I present more and more, will become clearer in terms of who we are and how we conduct business. Okay, so let's get on then to, I guess, if over 64% of you are saying you are new to CIMA, you've never even made a decision, I'm sure you are here to really understand more about the qualification and so that you can make your decision at the end whether it's the right qualification for you. So if that is where you belong, you really need to pay attention now, because this is your opportunity to really understand what CIMA is all about. All right, let's go straight to it. First of all, CIMA, I saw some people asking what's the distinction between BCom and oil. CIMA is a professional body, first and foremost. Okay, I'm sure you've heard about CICA. CICA itself is a professional body. I'm sure you've heard about CFA Institute, it's a professional body. I'm sure you've heard about ACC. Around the world, professions get organized by professional bodies. Professional bodies are some cluster or agglomeration of experts, industry experts who practice a particular trade. They come together and develop what would commonly be regarded as a set of best practices and competencies in terms of what employers or industry is looking for and how to uphold the standards of excellence in that profession. So CIMA is just one of several different professional bodies. Now, even within accounting and finance, I'm sure you know broadly there's management accounting, there's auditing, there's taxation, different professional bodies, although they're largely accounting bodies, but they try and emphasize different elements of the profession. So for instance, with respect to CIMA, as the name suggests, is management accounting. So within that, so CIMA represents management accountants, both in South Africa and globally. Now, what do they do as a professional body? If you're joining to study CIMA, you're trying to become a member of this professional body. I am a member of the professional. There are so many different people who have gone through the process and they're members. Now, a professional body obviously they will set what is called competencies. Now, how do they develop the company? They go to industry, they do conduct research. Every 5 years, they will ask employers, ask regulators, ask directors, ask boards of directors, and ask them one simple question. Look, what do you expect from a finance professional of the future? That's the basic question. We're trying to build finance professionals who can serve you in the future. Given the way you see the industry, the markets, and where things are going, what types of competencies do you think that a finance professional, and then they'll connect all this research, which they do once every 5 years, and they'll develop what is called competency, a competency framework, which is some high level understanding of what are the attributes and competencies or skills, that a qualified person for today and for the future should possess. Now, out of that competency, we'll develop what is called a competency framework, okay, which I'm going to talk about it. Now, and then they will develop what is called, CIMA knows that, for instance, a professional body knows that to create competencies, the person needs knowledge, the person needs skills, the person needs experience. So to be competent in anything, you need a combination of knowledge, skills, and experience. So the professional body would then say, okay, I need to find a way to translate these competencies into knowledge, skills, and clear knowledge, skills, and experience requirements that people would need to go through to demonstrate that they actually have these competencies. Now, I'm going to pause and then come back to that. But before I do, let me speak to the competencies themselves, okay? So what are we trying to, these knowledge, skills, and experience we're trying to develop and put you through, it is in order to do 5 key things, or in order to exhibit 5 key, or you could call it 5 key competencies, or some will call it 4 plus 1, okay? If you call this 1, call this 2, call this 3, call this 4, you could call this number 5, okay? So in other words, the markets are saying, the finance professional we want for the future should be an individual who is technically very, very strong, okay? He's business very, very savvy, he's business savvy, he's people oriented, meaning he's emotionally very intelligent, and he's a very strong and decisive. That's what the markets are saying. A finance professional must be technically very strong, business savvy, emotionally intelligent, and a decisive leader. So that is what the markets are telling CIMA as the competence they're looking for. Obviously, if you call this number 5, you talk about digital skills. We live in a world where digital transformation is moving very rapidly. You can have all those things if you're not very astute in terms of where technology is moving. Every business that you're going to serve as a finance professional, they use technology. They use technology to disrupt. They use technology to enter markets. Others use technology to disrupt them. So if you're going to be a finance professional who is technically very astute, business savvy, emotional, and you don't know how to grasp and run with technology, then it counts for nothing really. Yeah, it's gonna get. I wonder why were we not facing that side? Oh, okay, it was this broad. Yeah, okay. Right. So in essence, when we say competencies, we are referring to these 5 things. If you look at the clock, the arrows, they're pointing like that around this circle. We start with technical skills. We develop that into business skills. We develop that into people skills. We develop that into leadership skills. And because you are a professional, we are building an individual. Once you get these skills, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're going to accept a set of values which is called the CIMA Code of Ethics. You find that around that person, it's almost like we're building an egg. Okay, this is the yolk, this is the immediate outer of it, and then this is the skin. Okay, basically, if you have all these skills but you are corrupt, you don't have integrity, you don't have a set of values, okay, then you can bring disrepute to the profession. We don't want you. What makes you world class is the fact that whether you're in India, South Africa, UK, Canada, you've all signed up for the same code of ethics. Probity, integrity, confidentiality, professional behavior, those things that makes employers to respect the profession. Okay, so we would ring-fence who you are with those attributes. We'll do so by making sure that we incorporate that into the competencies. Because you don't have an issue which is accounting and then ethics. They all happen at the same time. By the time your boss says, sign this thing for the customer, whereas it is outside of the limit for you to sign, and you go ahead and sign it. Signing is part of your competencies, but the values that you cannot sign the wrong, whether it's check or whatever, all those things. So we'll find a way to integrate that so that as you come through with those competencies, you also absorb the values and understand this is what we expect of you in the industry. So when we talk about, if you're learning about CIMA for the first time, really that's what we mean by saying your competency means these, and you accept a set of values. Makes some sense. Okay, all CIMA is now trying to do, but how do we build this guy? How do you build a guy who is, but first of all, what is technical skills? CIMA, you ask employers, can you really tell me, when you say you want people who are technically very strong, what do you mean? And the markets will say, when we talk about technical skills, remember every profession has its techniques. Lawyers have their techniques of working. Engineers have their techniques. Accountants have their techniques. So within the management accounting profession, you learn about accounting principles, rules, conventions, tools and techniques, process costing, marginal costing, different types of techniques, how to quantify, how to set the price, how to reduce, different types of techniques for coping with different types of financial decision-making issues. We're going to call that techniques. Then you're going to ask the market, what exactly do you mean by business skills, and how is it different from technical skills? We don't want an accountant who can add and subtract the number and balance the books, and the CEO asks, so what does this number got to do with the business? You can't explain. There are accountants like that, right? You can add and subtract the number, the net present value is 10, it's positive. So why is it positive? You say because it's not negative. And the CEO will say, yeah, it's not negative, meaning what? Means on the positive side of the balance sheet. Okay. So what does that mean? It simply means that it could have been negative, but it's positive. That they start calling you bean counters. You've heard those terms, right? When they start calling you bean counters, know that the person who is calling you is saying, these guys, they only know the numbers. They can count it like you're counting beans. They really don't understand anything out of the number. This is the kind of language. Yeah, it's positive because it's not negative. Negative because it's on the right. The CEO wants you to be able to take that number and say, yeah, it is positive because it is positive. Here's what it means for our revenue. Here's what it means for our market share. Here's what it means for our cost. Here's what it means for the financial side of the business. Here's what it means for our shareholders. Can you see that? You should be able to show how the numbers, because at the end of the day, the boss wants to grow the business. He's trying to grow the business, trying to grow revenue, trying to grow market share. He's under a lot of pressure from shareholders and boards to say, give us market share, give us corporate governance, give us this. So unless you can take that number and say, this is what it means in terms of corporate governance, this is what it means in terms of market share, this is what it means in terms of what regulators are talking about, then you don't have business acumen. Are you with me? So we need to find a way to translate the techniques in accounting and finance so that it talks to business. So you're no longer called just an accountant, but you can be a businessman on your own. Okay? That's what called business skills. Now, what does CIMA then say is people skills? CIMA says at the end of the day, business is about making promises. You cannot get anything unless you can make promises. You tell customers, buy my products, it will solve your problems. That's a promise, isn't it? If they buy it, it means they are believing in your promise. You better keep it. You tell employees, work very hard, I'll increase your salaries. That's a promise. You tell shareholders, give me capital, I'll pay you dividends or interest. That's a promise. You tell suppliers, supply me the raw materials, I'll pay you when I sell the goods. So business is about promises. Okay? Now, so your ability to make promises and to keep the promises and understand how people will behave if you don't keep your promises. Customers are people. Suppliers are people. Make some sense. So as we're trying to run a business, it's a business is an arrangement of people. And they come with all their issues, their fears, their dreams, their hopes, their aspirations. You're trying to run a business. A politician is trying to make life difficult for you. Environmental action groups, they have their own interests. Don't kill the butterfly. All sorts of things are going on. And because employees want to protect their jobs, shareholders want interest. So because people's issues, people's fears and hopes and dreams and desires is always permeating what we're doing. We need accountants who understand, here's the technical issue, here's the business issue, but there are people involved. Okay? If you do this, here's what customers will do. If you do this, here's what suppliers will do. If you do this, here's what government would do. Can you see that? So it's very similar to business, but two different things. So when we say emotional intelligence, we're not talking about you know how to greet people in the morning. Because when you say people skills, like, okay, you know how to say hello, good morning, and it's much deeper than that. We're talking about really understanding customer psychology, shareholder psychology, supplier psychology. So you can almost look at the numbers and say, if you change this number like this, employees will be happy, shareholders will not be happy. Customers will be happy, this one will not be happy. So you have grasped the people dimensions with sufficient sophistication. You're in a strong position to advise the CEO, advise the board to say, don't forget that we are an arrangement of people. So while you do this, take care of this and all that. So we want to make sure that your competencies go as far as really grasping all these people dimensions of the business. Now, sometimes people will say people skills and leadership skills is the same thing. CIMA takes a slightly different dimension. Fine, a good leader should have good people skills. Okay, but the two are different. At some point, CIMA is saying, let's draw the line. Where does people skills end and where does leadership start? Once we've said, okay, you know how to understand people, motivate people, and all the rest, fine, that's also part of people's skills. But why is it that if you open the top 100 companies on the GS, you look at the CEOs, look at the background of the CEOs, there are so too few who come from a finance background. The vast majority of CEOs is either engineers. A guy who studied engineering at school, he joins Impala. Go and take the top 100 companies. Look at the background of this. I'm not saying that the places where you find finance guys becoming CEOs, just go to the banking sector. It's very easy to rise to the top to become CEO in a bank. You know why? Because bank is a financial type of business. Are you with me? So if you're a finance guy, finance director, it's very easy to become CEO. Once you get outside, check the mining industry. You probably look all the mining, Anglo-America, you hardly find a finance guy going that far. Take the healthcare sector, take the IT sector. So what CIMA is trying to do is to say, we don't want finance guys who when they get to the top, the furthest they can go is to end as finance director. Yes, that's leadership. But we need to prepare guys who can also become CEO, who can become chairman of the board of directors. I don't know if you follow. So, because management accounting provides information for others to make decisions. But how about you? Can you not also make the decision? Who makes the decision is the leaders. So why do you spend your whole career only providing information for leaders to make? You can make that decision. So we want to build a set of leadership skills into you, which is deeper than people's skills. What does this mean? Your ability to cope with the long-term future of the business. Your ability to pull stakeholders together. Your ability to cope with uncertainty. That is deeper than people's skills. Your ability to understand how the different market forces, they come together to move and organize. That is deeper than people's skills. I don't know if you follow what I'm getting to. So CIMA says, yes, people's skills is integral to leadership, but leadership is deeper than people's skills. And we need to build people who can get all the way to the top. So unless we structure the qualification to have an even balance, 20% here, 20% here, 20% here, 20% here, so when you come out, you're a rounded professional. Are you with me? So that is what the markets are saying. So when you talk about the CIMA competency framework, that's what we're talking about. So CIMA says, okay, here's what the markets are looking for from a finance professional, but how do we build this guy? Okay, because these are competencies, as I mentioned, to build this guy, competency is made up of knowledge, of skills, and experience. Okay, I'm sure you all know that if you've passed all CIMA exams, if you don't have 3 years experience, they're not going to sign you up. Okay, so there's a part of you getting this, which is called 3 years relevant experience. Okay, That's not my focus for now. But CIMA says, okay, how do we build knowledge and skill? Okay. Most people, when they come in to do CIMA, this is what they know. They see this thing and they say, yeah, that's a CIMA qualification. It starts from here. This is CIMA qualification, this is CIMA competency. This qualification is CIMA's strategy to build these first two, the knowledge and skills. Are you with me? You can call that education. Okay? Then the third leg, which is work experience. That is what you'll be doing in your CVs, your work, wherever you're working. Okay, so CIMA says, but how do we build this knowledge and skills? We have to recognize that at the basic level, what is knowledge? Your ability, whether you know something, whether you can explain something, whether you understand something, you can describe something. But there are a lot of people who got knowledge, but don't have skill. What's the difference? Knowledge means, do you know, do you understand? Skill means, can you do it? You can have a university professor with a PhD in accounting. He knows everything that's going on with accounting, but he's never worked as an accountant. He just has theoretical understanding of accounting. If you throw him an issue which involves everything he knows, which he teaches, to say, okay, do it, the wheels come off. And that is what makes some difference between a theoretical, a university degree, and a professional qualification. So CIMA says, okay, so in order to capture knowledge and skills, we're going to assess this using two types of exams. We're going to have what is called objective test exams. I'm sure you've heard multiple choice, OT, and all the rest. And we're going to have what is called case study exams. Okay. So CIMA is saying, before even we see your work experience, there are two ways we can tell whether you look like the person who is likely to have those competencies. We'll give you OT exams, which will be testing your knowledge, which you must pass at a certain level. We'll simulate case studies, we'll write case studies. The closest you can show without me seeing you at work, without me having been your boss where you were reporting to me, the closest I can use to tell whether you look like somebody who can do it if given the chance is through case study, where you're forced to show how you translate the knowledge into real advice. You say, okay, do this, do not do this. I deny this, I accept this, I recommend this. If you did this, these are the consequences, therefore. Okay, so now, so CIMA then says, okay, while we come to your work experience, let's develop a strategy to push that knowledge and skills into you and examine you on that. Here's the strategy that CIMA has developed. That strategy is now what constitutes the CIMA qualification. Okay? The strategy says, okay, we're building a home. If you're building a home, it's going to have a foundation. If you're going to the first floor, second floor, third floor. So let's build this guy. Management accounting exists in levels. Right? If you're a politician, politicians are in levels. Not every politician, everything. Life is about levels. If you work in a company, the company has hierarchy. And management accounting takes place in all those levels. There is strategic management accounting, there is operational management accounting. Now, management accounting needs to operate at all the levels. So, we're going to build the 4 levels of a business. Okay? Level 1, level 2, level 4. All right. Now, what CIMA then says is, but what goes on in level 1 which doesn't go on in level 2? Because if there are 4 levels, then there must be something that sets them apart. Fine, you go to some companies, all 1 level. Some companies 15. But these levels are generally known to be, they can be graphed around 4 levels. All CIMA says is, okay, to run a business, you need to plan. If they say if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there, right? So you need to plan where you want to go. That plan means you promise customers, promise shareholders, promise, and all this way you're promising, you need to have a plan to fulfill those promises, right? Okay, so, but now, there are different types of plan. You can plan the business for tomorrow. Today is Monday, you can plan what you will do tomorrow, right? You can also plan what you will do by the end of the month. You can also plan what you will do by the end of the quarter. You can also plan what you will do in 5 years' time. So let's ring-fence planning into what I will call immediate planning, short-term planning, medium-term planning, and long-term planning. So these levels then means, here we teach you how to plan and control a business immediately, which is, they call it the certificate level. What you go in, you learn how to process transactions, invoice, debit orders, this cash, all those things which are happening. Companies are selling every day. You need to be balancing your books every day. So it's teaching you, if we don't close your books by 2 o'clock by this day, this is what's going to happen the next day. So everything at the certificate level is teaching you how to plan and run the transactions of a business to make sure that the minute by minute things that must be planned and delivered is delivered. Okay. Now, when you go here, it moves from immediate to short term. By month end, where should we be? By next month, where should we be? It's now not day to day, it's now month to month. Are you with me? By the end of the quarter, or by the first by the interim results, the first 6 months of the year, where should we be? We are now moving now to medium term. And where are we going to be by 2024? We are now moving to long term. So here we teach you now short term planning, medium term planning, long term planning. So that's what makes up those 4 levels. So that no matter which level you work in as a management accountant, you can demonstrate that you got the knowledge and the skills and attributes to function at that level. Why is that important? If you're at this level, your next promotion has to be here, right? The CEO will never promote you without first hearing what your managers have to say. Because when you are here, if you're a data capturer, you're reporting to accountant, for instance. If you're an accountant, you're reporting to finance manager. If you're a finance manager, you're probably reporting to a finance director who reports to the board. Okay? Before they promote this guy here, they will ask this guy. Before they promote this guy here, they will ask this guy. If you do well at your level, I do well at my level, right? It means I can get promoted, but you can then get promoted into my position. Does it make some sense? So even though we say I'm working for APSA, your real employer is your boss, the person to whom you report. So if you're at this level, you report to people at this level. Sometimes they might call it team leader, you're all at this level, then you report to a more senior person. So here's the point. We want to make sure that you understand how to move your career forward. If you don't understand what's happening here, sometimes your manager will be talking to you, you don't know what exactly does my manager want. I've balanced the books, I've given him, he seems not to be happy. No, he sits here. There are certain things that he's charged with. So if you are here, you understand this while you're studying your CIMA qualification, it already starts improving your work. It starts helping you to understand what your manager is looking from you, how to anticipate your manager long before, because you know what goes on at that level. Okay, so the next thing CIMA then says is, we are building you now according to what employers are looking for. So you understand where you feel you can be proficient at your level, understand your boss's own concerns. Okay, so that makes up the 4 levels. Then CIMA then says, okay, if these are the 4 levels, to build a house, you need pillars. If there are no solid pillars, the house will collapse. You can't just have first floor, second floor. You need solid pillars around the floors. So we're going to develop 3 pillars. Pillar 1, pillar 2, pillar 3. You say, okay, if I put my 4 levels, 1, 2, 3, 4, I put my 3 pillars, okay, in between the level and pillars, it's like the bricks, isn't it? The building blocks to building that person, to mold that person in terms of the knowledge and the skills. Okay, so, but the same way the levels have meanings, the pillars should have meanings, right? It can't just be some pillar. So here's what CIMA says. Okay, the first thing we are trying to do is to make this person to be, it all starts with a solid technical understanding of accounting. Are you with me? After all is said and done, you are an accountant. So you have to be technically very strong. So let's start. Here's how we're going to build this pillar. If that pillar is your foundation, it all starts from there. We need then to understand that, what do accountants do? Okay, what do accountants do? Let me just pause a bit. Hey, that's the worst thing you were expecting. I'm sure you think like, we all know what accountants do, so give it to me. I like that. I like that. Look, there are many ways. Yes, they balance the book. At the end of the day, okay, I'm sure you've heard there are different areas of accounting. There's management accounting, there's financial accounting. All accounting starts with which branch of accounting? What is the first branch of accounting on which all other branches of accounting rest? Hmm? Yes, it's financial account. It's financial accounting. Okay, let's leave accounting. Bookkeeping. When you hear bookkeeping, that is where accounting starts. Yes. Debit, credit, debit, credit. That is where accounting starts. There are people who do bookkeeping to the end of their life. They've never heard about other things like management accounting, just bookkeeping, debit and credit. So we have to accept that all accounting starts from debit and credit. So if you're not having that solid technical understanding and growing from there, then there's something wrong. Are we there? But when you're doing debit and credit, what is the goal? Is to prepare financial statements, right? And what is the first financial statement that an accountant is taught to prepare? It's the income statement. They call it statement of comprehensive income nowadays. I mean, when I was studying, they were calling it profit and loss account. Back those days, then it moved to income statement. Then now it's being called statement of comprehensive. We're talking about the same thing. Okay. Why income statement? At the end of the day, accounting exists because business exists, and business exists to make income, to make profit. So the only way we can know whether we're making profit, we need an income statement. So only accounting must start from there, right? Obviously, we know there's also a balance sheet. You need to own assets and raise capital, but you do all that because of this. And if you don't have an income statement, the balance sheet cannot balance. I'm sure you know that. So it starts with the income statement, then it goes to the balance sheet, and then it goes to the cash flow statement. The cash flow statement is simply a reconciliation of the balance sheet and the income statement. So if we start by saying accounting starts from bookkeeping, and bookkeeping is about getting the income statement right, which then branches to cash flow, to balance sheet, and all the rest. Let's go back and then say, we will call, what is in an income statement? It's a summary of your revenue minus cost is equal to profit. Some people call revenue income. Some people call cost expenses. Okay? So I can then say revenue minus cost is equal to profit. Look at what I've done. I'm simply saying my first pillar is about revenue. So this pillar is going to be about revenue. And when I talk about revenue, I'm not just talking about revenue as we know it. Others do everything, then we generate an invoice and start following up the money. I'm sure you know for a company to create revenue, marketing department does market research. Product department takes that market research and develop the product. Are you with me? The operations department sets up the ground and delivery system to get those products and through supply chain to build that product and get it out to customers. In a typical accounting department, accountants come at the end. Long after the marketing department has done the research, product developed a product, is being shipped, and then when they say invoice the customer, then the accounting department comes in. But that is at the end of revenue process. Are you with me? So CIMA said, no. That's not the kind of accountant we're trying to do. We want somebody who is there right from the beginning. When even the market research starts, he's there. He understands. He can advise how it can be done and not can. Are you with me? So the only way is to build a pillar which just keeps talking about what are the things that you use to get revenue. Operations, supply chain, procurement, marketing, HR, and how do these things work together to go after revenue? We'll spend this whole pillar. That is our emphasis. So that when you come into the revenue process, you don't come at the end to raise invoice or to be doing revenue recognition. You come, you even see the opportunity for revenue yourself and initiate the process rather than waiting for product development or for marketing or the salespeople to initiate. Okay, but we all know that profit, revenue minus cost is equal to profit. Surely you know that if your revenue, if you generate revenue and revenue goes up by 30%, cost goes up by 40%, it's not good business, right? Because you paid to maximize, should maximize revenue in order to maximize profit. There's no point to maximize revenue, but you also maximize your cost. Then profit will not be maximized. So we also need a second pillar, which is just going to focus on cost. Make some sense. Everything is just because at different levels. It's gonna be how do you measure cost, predict for cost, plan for cost, control cost, But it's just gonna be on cost. So that as this pillar helps you to go after revenue, this pillar helps you to contain and control the cost. We need a last pillar. Your profit is a function of how well you manage these two other pillars, right? If you're running around your cost and revenue very well, profit is the outcome. Are you with me? But now here's the difficulty. All these people that you make promises to go after this revenue, right? You need capital, right? You have to promise shareholders to give you the capital. You need employees, right? You have to promise them salaries. The problem with making the revenue is that you have to make a lot of promises. Are you with me? And you have to constantly, your business is a going concern, you have to constantly make new promises and continue to keep them. But now, all these people that you're making promises to, where are they? They're outside the business. Apart from employees, customers are outside, suppliers are outside, everybody's outside. They don't know what's going on inside, right? The only way you can demonstrate that you will be able to keep your promises is to report on your profitability, is to report on how well the other two pillars are happening inside. Okay? You should come back once a year, once every 6 months, to say, because we manage the revenue and the cost pillar properly, here's what our profits are saying. Here's what our cash flow looks like. You report to all these people outside, be they shareholders, customers, so that when they see you from outside, when you come back to make more promises, they take you seriously. Because your numbers show that you can keep promises. It shows you've kept promises in the past. So we need this last pillar, even though it's called profit. That pillar is called the reporting pillar. It is reporting on the first two other pillars. Report on profit, report on cash flow, report to people who are not inside the business. What is happening inside the business? Hence, you see CIMA will call this the E pillar. E means enterprise. It's teaching you to be entrepreneurial. Entrepreneurs know how to go after revenue, right? That's why it's called the enterprise pillar. CIMA just called enterprise 1, enterprise 2, enterprise 3, teaching you the different levels of how to be enterprising, all for revenue. Okay? This pillar, it used to be called the cost pillar, but it's now called the performance pillar. Why? CIMA recognized that although you have to control cost, there are a lot of things in business which, if you don't control, can damage you. Run a factory. The law says safety and injuries, you must have a very healthy, safety-free. Let an employee trip himself and fall down. That's a fatality. When that employee is removed from work during his sick leave, production will stop. Right? If that is not the case, when he sues you, you will pay costs. Make some sense. So CIMA says they are the non-financial side of the business. Market share, employee satisfaction, customer satisfaction. If we don't control those, if we only control costs, we don't control those, nothing is going to happen. So they decide to change that pillar from cost pillar to performance pillar, so that we control both costs as well as the other element of the business. And then this is called F1, financial pillar, report on the financial outcome, right? So here's what we can summarize. CIMA teaches you how to plan a business, how to control the business, how to report on what's happening in the business. That's what those three pillars do. How to add value, how to preserve value, how to report on value. So all that CIMA says is, in order to be a guy who can plan, control, and report a business at all the levels, okay, you should have these 4 sets of competencies. Make sense? So this is now the framework. Then CIMA then says, okay, we need a module here which will teach you how to operate at the transactional level, but at the same time start teaching you how revenue is created in the business. Okay, that module is called economics. But why? What has economics got to do with the transactional level? I'm sure you know in economy, when interest rate, exchange rate, balance of payment, all those things about what's happening in the economy. Business transactions, they arise from the state of the economy. If the Reserve Bank increases interest rate, all the banks increase interest rates, all companies start changing their interest rate, loan books are updated, everything gets changed. So the more you understand the economy, interest rate, exchange, the more you understand how it's going to affect the transactions on a day-to-day basis. So economics starts teaching you how to operate like now. I'm sure you know if interest rate increases today, the next day companies are changing their prices. So it's a day-to-day thing. So if we introduce economics here, it starts teaching you the now. Are you with me? But if we introduce it here, it starts teaching you how to make revenue. You see, revenue comes from the economy. If you understand interest rate, exchange rate, and how the economy is moving, you can tell interest rate is going down, so the property market will do well. So it starts teaching you, for you to understand how revenue is created, you need to understand how the economy moves. So we'll block economics here as the building block to prepare you this way and prepare you that way. Make some sense. We also need a module here which will teach you how to control costs from the beginning. We'll call that fundamentals of management accounting. What is fixed cost? It defines what is cost, what is not cost, what are the different types of cost. It takes you right, just like you start with debiting and crediting. It takes you what is cost and what is not cost. Okay? It starts preparing you how to manage, control costs, day-to-day transactions. It also prepares you how to control costs up there. Make some sense? Because this pillar is about reporting, it's called fundamentals of financial accounting. It teaches you the debiting, the crediting, how to come up with a financial statement. So all CIMA has done is say, okay, what other module can we plug here? After you learn this, what is the next thing to learn? Here, economics teaches you outside the business. This one teaches you inside. You see, when you open E1, there are 2 chapters on human resource management. There are 2 chapters on supply chain. There are 2 chapters on IT. So this one, economics teaches you what is happening outside. This one teaches you what's happening inside the company. This one then says, okay, let's combine outside and inside into what is called managing performance. How do you combine outside and inside to move the business forward? This one takes it. This one then says, but where are you going? You need to first know where you want to be in 5 years' time before you start combining the inside and outside. This one now takes the outside, the inside, combine here, and then plot to where you want to be in 5 years' time. Same thing here. Let's manage cost. Here's what CIMA does. When we introduce cost here, we talk about the principles of cost. When we move here, we move into the costing system. Because when a company wants to control cost, it starts by investing in the costing system, activity-based costing system, process costing system. All those various different companies use different. So it teaches you how to translate cost to costing system. Then as it goes up, it also then says, okay, now you understand costing systems. But is it only cost we're going to control? No. We need to control quality. Okay, we need to control efficiency. So this now is teaching you how what is called not costing but management control system. These are cost control systems. These are now management control systems, of which cost control systems is part of. And then it concludes to say, okay, now you know how to manage. Okay, let's deal with risk management. You can get all these systems right. If risk comes from outside, if you don't get it right, it's going to collapse. Okay, same thing. You learn bookkeeping to trial balance to basic financial statement to group consolidation to financial strategy. Can you see what we're doing? So those are just plots. CIMA has plugged in there to say, okay. So we will then tell you, okay, you want to become CIMA, you need knowledge, you need skills, you need experience. So let's go with knowledge. If you enter at this level, you need to take this subject and pass, take this subject and pass, take this to display that you have the knowledge. Are you with me? So for each level, there are 3 exams that are testing knowledge. One is testing knowledge from revenue point of view. One is testing knowledge from cost control point of view. One is testing knowledge from a reporting point of view. When you pass this exam, CIMA says, okay, you have the knowledge to understand what goes on at the CIMA. We call this immediate. That's what CIMA calls operational level. Okay, we call medium term. That's what CIMA calls management level. We call this long term. That's what CIMA calls strategic level. It's important that you know the thinking that's going on behind that level. Because if you know the thinking, we use that a lot to teach you. Say you're at this level, you can't be thinking like this. Your problem is not the knowledge. You don't know what's happening at this level. There's a certain mindset you need to have when you enter a level. That mindset is not written in the textbook. Are you with me? It's not written there. Nobody tells you that. You need somebody who knows what is going on and can package the teaching to say, no, you are the operational level, you are still thinking as if you are a certificate level. It all looks like multiple choice. But multiple choice at this level, this is how you're supposed to be thinking. Okay, so at the end of the day, you pick this, you pass, you got knowledge. CIMA says, okay, you got knowledge, but do you have skills? We don't know. So we're going to introduce a different type of exam as a gateway. Okay, you pass this, you pass this, you pass this. But when problems come at work, you are hired to solve problems. No problem comes as E1, as T1, or as F1. Your boss just tells you, we have to launch a new product next week. What do we do? It's for you to figure out, okay, to launch a new product, there are E1 issues there. You have to think, how are you going to market the product? How are you going to price the product? Are you with me? Why are we launching a product? Product times quantity is revenue. What are the things I've learned in E1 that can help me launch a product? Are you with me? But if you launch the product generates revenue, the cost is not controlled. Or defective products, customers ship the products back to you. So nobody tells you this is now an E1. So what CIMA is trying to do is say, okay, since you have the knowledge for these 3 modules, let's give you a case study. Are you with me? Which juxtaposes that knowledge and say, okay, you got these 3 levels of knowledge. How about launching a new product? Show me that you can go into this pillar and identify the things you've learned there. Go into this pillar, identify what you've learned there, and tell me how I can launch a product. And then I can mark it. In the process of showing that, this is what we are looking for. Any case study question which is asked from you, you need to bring in technical skills. Okay? We would have taught you technical skills here and here. We will teach you how to use them, to convert them to advice. Okay? You need business skills. We would have taught you business skills here. Can you see what we're doing? When we then mark your work, remember when I give you OT, it's just knowledge, it's not really skill. When you want to test the skill, I give you case study. I want to see how you can draw all the technical skills, the people skills, everything you've learned from here and advise. When you also do this, you pass, CIMA can then say, okay, this guy has, we can give him what is called the advanced diploma, the diploma. I'm sorry, here you get certificate in management account, here you get diploma in management account, here you get advanced. You don't wait till the end, you can start getting qualifications as you're going along. This qualification evaluated you at the operational level, the short-term level of where management accountant we believe that you have the knowledge and the skills. We don't know whether you got the work experience. Are you with me? Maybe you have it, maybe you don't. Maybe you're going to have it after you finish studying. But we believe that you have the knowledge and skills to function at this level. That is what you're passing the OT and the case study means. That allows you to go to the next level. Same thing. We give you another case study. You pass them, we say, we believe that you got the knowledge and skills. Those are the building blocks to the competency, isn't it? You go to the next one, we pass you again. The CIMA says, okay, you've shown that you got all the knowledge and skills that a competent should have at all the levels. Now show me the work experience. Are you with me? Because the third left, show me. If sometimes you already had it before you started studying. Sometimes you were having it while you were studying CIMA. Sometimes you can still finish the qualification and go get the work experience, but you need to bring 3 years work experience, which must meet some certain criteria. If so, for those of you who have completed, they want to show me that you've applied the technical skills anyway. Have you ever been a bookkeeper, anywhere that you worked and applied some of those technical skills you learned? Show me. Show me that you've worked, have applied business skills, how to generate revenue, how to identify opportunities. Bring me experience. Say, well, I was working on this project where my job was to launch a new product. Here's what I did. Here's what we launched the product 2 years ago, and after 3 years, we made revenue of 3 months. You have to document that. Your manager has to sign that I was there when you were doing that. It shows that you have practiced business skills. Are you with me? Show me that you work with suppliers and all that. So if you combine all those, you give it to CIMA. CIMA then says, okay, you've shown the knowledge and skills through the study. We've seen the work experience. Okay, we can sign you off your chartered global management account. Our role as a school is this. Make some sense. Our job is to teach you how to pass those modules first time. That's what you're paying us for. How do we get this guy to do it for 3 months, write the exam, clear it, write the next one, clear it, so that within 18 months it's finished? It is no easy task. Okay, so I hope that for those of you who have been wondering whether CIMA is for, I hope that gives you some fairly good idea whether CIMA is for you or not. But that's obviously that's why employers love it. It's a very rounded qualification. It's balanced. It gives you acumen in all the areas. Employers want people who can move. They can move with different business partnering, operate in different levels. Inside finance, out of finance, in supply chain, they can work in audit, they can work in risk, but they all understand the financial implication. Because you have a lot of companies with the HR department, it's full of staff with HR, they don't know the financial implication, but they know HR. Are you with me? You got IT people, they know everything about software and hardware, but they don't know the financial implication. So all CIMA is trying to do is to build you to be a very strong financial grounding, but give you a means to operate in all those areas. So if you are not going there, if you sit in the finance department, you know when to tell them, hey, that thing you are doing there, this is what it means for the business. Okay, so hence it becomes, now, obviously, I've spent too much time, I'm not going to, for those of you who have, this is a difficult qualification, I'm sure, any qualification which has chartered, it's a serious qualification. If you want to almost take a qualification and you're guaranteed to pass, a first degree, a degree, most degree program. Okay, people who fail and don't pass their degrees, either they didn't have the money or whatever. Okay, but the most hardworking people with the money and resources, they do fail. Why? Degree qualifications, they are very theoretical. Professional qualifications, they are very practical. They are testing you how something should work in practice, and you have never done it. Are you with me? Everybody can memorize knowledge and give it back. How to convert knowledge to application is very difficult. So people fail the exams. This slide is just trying to give a high level understanding that when you come in, okay, here are some of the things. Those who pass these exams first time, there are things that, here are some of the things they do. Okay? Question styles. I can teach you one concept. Okay? Balance scorecard. The way balance scorecard is applied in the banking sector is different from how it's applied in the mining sector. The same concept. And because we are learning a professional exam, they don't teach you balance scorecard one way as they do at university. Here's balance scorecard, it's got 4 sides, here's the size, it ends there. Because they take the same balance scorecard and say, we want to be sure if you find balance scorecard in the mining sector, you deal with it. If we change it to telecom, can you deal with it? So the way it is structured is such that you have to try different question styles. So when you learn balance scorecard, you have to try a lot of question approaches to that. That is why as a school, we always, for instance, we'll give you both BPP and Kaplan match. Some schools will tell you, no, use BPP. Some schools tell you use Kaplan. We use both. Are you with me? We use both. We give you both so that, and we teach you using both so you really understand the dynamics of the subject. Okay, I could go on and on and on. Most of these they're gonna make more sense when you actually come into class and the rest. But you want to partner with a school that really understands why people fail OT and can reinvest that back into teaching. That people understand why people fail case study. For instance, case study. They'll give you I call it the prison silo. They tell you 6 months before the exam that you'll be writing on ShopRite. People go and study that ShopRite, and then come the exam, they're trying to repeat everything. No, this is what we do. So, okay, your case study is on ShopRite. That means that you'll be writing a case on a retailing business. Okay, here's what we do. We go into the industry and say, let's find all the retailing businesses that operate like ShopRite, Macro, Pick and Pay, and all this one. Let's find what are the types of problems that they face. And then we come back to our course and say, okay, you write a case study on ShopRite. Here are the things that go on in retail companies, not just in ShopRite. We teach you to say, if you have this type of problem, here's where the enterprise pillar helps you solve it. Here's where the performance pillar helps you solve it. Here's where the financial pillar. We literally teach you all those skills. Expose you to all the issues that have come. So when you go to the day of the exam, they say, okay, this is a case study. By the time the computer opens, they say, okay, here's the issue. It's an issue we've already dealt with in class. Are you with me? The issue is about this. Here are the things we prepare you. So a lot of people fail because they go silent. They focus on that case study, the 6-page. Those who do work, they understand the business all around. And we don't leave you to go and understand the business all around. That is what you pay us for. To understand it all around, break it down, get you into class, say, from a people point of view, this is what is going on. From a technical skill point of view, this is what is going on. From a leadership, you see those four skills. Show you how that links back to the modules that you've passed. So that when we give you mock, we say, answer this question. We mark it, blah, blah. That's how it works. Lastly, then I can quickly wrap up. Okay, right. I'm just going to summarize here. You are coming here. I'm sure last week you were attending other open days. This is an open slide. You can see there's no college names. These are real colleges. Okay, college A, B, and C. We are one of these colleges, A, B, and C. A, B, and C are the top 3 colleges that don't run CIMA in the country. I'm not going to call it, but this is what some people just look at which one is the cheapest. Some people look at here are the things where we say, if you want to select a college, here's what you look out for. There are these 6 items. Please make sure that it's fine. You can use this to make your decision. But make sure that you understand this other value. Are you with me? The trouble is people just know, I'm just going to choose the on price. Sometimes they say, if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. By the time they tell you, no, this course is 3.5, you say, no, this school is cheaper. One, you're going to be with them for 3 months. Okay? Every day for 3 months. You're going to pay another 1,500 or 2,000 to write that exam. Isn't it? When you fail that exam, the 2,500 has gone. When you pay another 2,500, by the time you do it 3 times, you realize that that cheap school ends up being more expensive. People want to pass as soon as possible. People want to get in within 2 years or 1 year, they finish CIMA. You don't want to get in 4 years after you study. It costs you in terms of time. Okay, so we're saying, here are the things you look out for. Is the school CIMA registered? A school that does not show that they are registered on CIMA, and you know what they say, go search on CIMA's website. If you can't see the school, then please. CIMA doesn't know them. That simply means there is no way to verify that when they take your money, they'll be able to. So check this. Is the school registered? Okay. Obviously, check awards. CIMA has these annual awards that they do to the top schools that produce the best number of students in South Africa and all the rest. It's all on CIMA's website. They'll put, here are the awards, here's the school that they studied. If you start seeing one school, you can have 3 schools that are all registered. 1 or 2 of the schools is producing top awards, the other one is not. It simply means, yeah, you're all registered, but one is, the registration simply means it's a minimum standard. Okay? They can minimum standard of 70%, 2 people on 70, The other one is on 90% in terms of its performance. They are all registered, but some are performing better than others. So check this school, their registered years. Are they producing top student awards? Okay. Check the materials they are using. Okay. Some use BPP, some use Kaplan, some use both. The officially recommended material for CIMA is Kaplan. The next most credible is BPP. If a school uses Kaplan, it's an indication because that is a CIMA recommended material. If a school uses both, it's even a stronger indication. If a school uses BPP and not Kaplan, BPP is good, but it's like you rank. It's number one, number two. You must start saying, okay. Obviously, you combine that with the other things to finally make your decision. Okay? Obviously, you have to check your study options. Home study, face-to-face, all those. Are the study options in line with your own aspiration? Check that out. Campuses. Do they have physical campuses? Okay? Check the pricing. So all this slide is saying is, guys, don't just use one thing to make a decision. The investment is too serious. All right. So I think I've now finished my section of the presentation. Maybe, where are my questions? Okay. Let me just recap on my section before I allow my colleague to come in. There are some questions that arose. I want to see to what extent have I answered those questions. Can I go ahead with the questions? And then if there are more questions on my part, you can then follow up and ask. The first question says, I need some advice on choosing between ACC and CIMA. This is a very interesting question. Yes, if you're the one who ask this question, last week when did we have the ACC open day? 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, we were having an open day for ACC. The easiest way to have answered this question is to attend the ACC open day, attend the CIMA, then draw the contrast. It is hard for me to answer this question as detailed as I would like to, because I have to end up explaining the whole ACC the way I've explained CIMA, and there are people here who are just here for CIMA. But here's my simple answer to you. Okay, it's very simplistic given the time constraints. Okay, the advice between CIMA and ACC. Here's how you look at it. If you have international aspiration, if you believe that you're going to want to work in South Africa, in UK, in Canada, or outside of South Africa, I'm assuming that if you ask this question in South Africa, if your career goals are very, very international, you're better off going straight to ACC. Okay? I'm not saying CIMA is not international. ACC is 4 times more international than CIMA. But CIMA is also very international. Okay. If you are looking at building a solid career in South Africa, and the choice was simply between ACC and CIMA, then there's no question that CIMA is better. Because CIMA is well recognized in South Africa. It is not as recognized as CASA. Let's get that clear. But CIMA is the second most recognized accounting qualification in the country. ACC is not even the third. So if your career is within South Africa, then CIMA is far better than ACC. If your career intends to be outside of South Africa, then ACC is far better than CIMA. That's one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it, if you look at this, you say, as an accountant, where do I want to end up? There are 2 types of accountants, okay? Accountants in business and accountants in public practice. When you say in public practice, you work for the accounting firm. Okay? Accountants who end up as auditors, they express opinion on financial statement, PwC, Pricewaterhouse, Deloitte and Touche. I'm sure you know those firms. So accountants in public practice, they don't do accounting. They evaluate what accountants have done, and then they express an opinion. Those are accountants in public practice. Accountants in business are the ones who, like the finance directors, the finance controller, the management accountant, those who help the business, everything I've explained here, to plan and control and make decisions. Okay. If your goal is to be an accountant in business, there is no question that CIMA has a stronger preparation for you than ACC. If your goal, however, is to end up in public practice, there is no question that ACC has a stronger grounding for you than CIMA. So if you ask this question, I don't know why you asked it, but that is my high-level explanation as to how you you want to choose. The other one says, in which industries will I be able to get a job with CIMA qualification? People who ask this question, there's a perception that CIMA is more about, it's just about costing. And if it's about costing, you will likely see it in the manufacturing industry. Let's not make any mistake. CIMA started as the Institute of Cost Accounting. It started in manufacturing. That was like 60 years ago. There are more CIMA members working in service sectors now, F&B, telecommunications, than even in manufacturing. So the person who is asking this question may be wondering in what industries. The answer is simple. In all industries. You can find CIMA in the NGO sector, in public practice, in private practice. You can find technology, manufacturing, retail. You can find, as I've explained what is CIMA, it's about planning, controlling, and reporting. All businesses plan, control, and report. Right? All businesses, they plan, they control, they report. So you can literally add value in any industry. I don't think there are any limits. That's why CIMA accepts work experience in any industry or sector. The next question, how long does it take to study CIMA? Look, it depends. It is faster when you study CIMA full-time than part-time. I can tell you now, most people don't study CIMA, they enter at this level because they have some form of a degree. If you don't have a degree, you only have metric, you start at this level, then you work your way up. Okay? The average person who enters at this level can do it in 18 months. Okay? 6. There's a difference between can do it and I don't know how to put it. Everything in life is possible, not everything is probable. It is possible to do it in 18 months, but it is not probable. It is not likely. Okay? Out of every 50 people who join every semester here, saying they want to finish CIMA in 18 months, you get 2 or 3 who manage to do that. Okay, so the answer is, if you start at operational level, you can do it. The minimum time is 18 months to finish CIMA. Start at operational level. If you start at certificate level, the minimum time is obviously 2 years. Okay, the average person, 80% of people doing CIMA, they work full time. Some work, they got deadlines to work. Some are spouses, they got wife and kids and all the rest. So they also have other responsibilities. So the average person will take 3 years, 3.5, starting at operational level. So although you can do it in 18 months, if you combine your work requirements, if you got a child, the less your work demanding job requirements, the less you got a child or so many responsibilities that distract you from your time, the more likely you can do it in 18 months. If not, work around 3 years, 3.5 years to finish CIMA. Obviously, those who are studying full time, there are people who study CIMA full time. They enter here within 18 months to 2 years. Because if you study, there's nothing else you're doing. You wake up every day, you just study. So part time, work around 3 years. Full time, work around 2 years. That will be my answer to you in terms of how long it will take for you to finish CIMA. Okay. The others are asking, what is the job designations after each course? Job designation after each course. I suspect by course you mean, if you are the one who ask this question, guys, I'm going to answer it based on how I understand the question. Where at the end you can ask follow-up questions. I mean, this is a course, this is a course, this is a course. Each of these building blocks are courses. Okay. So if you say the job designation after each course, I don't know. Are you referring to this course? This course? This is a level. Okay. The level is made up of 4 courses, 3 OTs, and 1 case is a level. But you could also call the level a course. So maybe you're asking, what are the job designations after each level? I don't know what drives this question, but here's what I'm going to say. As you can see, this thing at this level, you can't really say what job are you going to get after this course. It's just one word. Here, you get a qualification called Advanced Diploma in Management Accounting. If you're wondering what type of job designations, you can fairly much answer that question from this same thing. When you get this qualification, which involves these 4 courses, remember you've been taught 4 things: technical skills, business skills, people skills, leadership skills. Make some sense. That's what you've just displayed you have at this level. So if you want to call it business planning officer, okay? Because here you're learning how to plan. Here you're learning how to control. Here you're learning how to report. Okay? What are the job designations that will easy in time to report? Bookkeeper, financial accountant, management accountant. Those are the job designations that this leg can easily. Now, even here, management accounting, performance analyst, budget controller, they are all here. Are you with me? Product officer, planning officer, pricing officer. These are all about planning. So the point I'm making here is it's hard to say is the job designation. Okay, but if you finish this level, jobs that essentially have to do with you planning where the business is going. Pricing analyst, research analyst, equity analyst, whatever, they will all fall in here. So I hope that answers your question in terms of, because this person was asking, what are the types of job designations? Those job designations I've put forward that they are after a level, not after a course. Because you can't say I've just done F1. What is the job designation I can do after doing F1? F1 is not a qualification as such. F1 is one of the courses that make up a qualification, which you can say that can give you access to certain types of jobs. So I hope that answers your question. The other person is asking, what is the difference between a traditional BCom stream and a CIMA and CIMA? Okay, there are different types of BCom. There's BCom management accounting, BCom. But when you say traditional, I suspect the traditional BCom is what is called BCom financial accounting. I hope that, because different people will define what is traditional differently. If you go to UNISA, they have BCom financial accounting or BCom accounting science. That is what the people are doing the CASA route. They finish this, they do CTA, and then they go and write the board. Okay, but there's BCom management accounting. There are other types of, there's BCom accounting. So when you say the traditional BCom, I'm assuming that you're referring to this one, because that's what I'll call traditional BCom. Or whatever BCom you're applying to, you want to know what is the difference. Okay. Now, let's put it this way. A BCom is an academic qualification. CIMA is a professional qualification. What does that mean? Being an academic qualification, you're being flooded with theory. It's very theoretical. CIMA is very practical. A BCom does not require a experience to get the qualification. CIMA, you require experience to get the qualification. Okay. A BCom is your property. The CIMA qualification is not your property. Do you know what I mean? If they give you a BCom, you can go and misbehave. No university will take your BCom from you. You know that. CIMA qualification is a loan. They are lending it to you. You only keep it for as long as you continue to behave yourself. You have to constantly, there's what is called CPD, continuing professional development. You must show to CIMA every year that you've been continuing to adding to your skills since you became qualified. You must sign up the code of ethics to show that you have not been found wanting in terms of your ethical probity and all the rest, because CIMA can discipline and withdraw the qualification. So any traditional BCom is more academic than practical. It is your property. The CIMA qualification is not. It is more theoretical. The CIMA qualification is more practical. In terms of what employers, here's a paradox I'm going to give to you if you are the one who asked this question. Every employer in South Africa, for instance, if you ask them what is a BCom, they know it. But if you ask them what is CIMA, they may not know. Let's get that very clear. Okay, so you put 100 HR departments, they all know BCom, but maybe only 50 might know what is. So if you ask this question more in terms of which one is well known, there's no question at any given time that BCom will be more well known than CIMA. Are you with me? Because you live in a world where everybody believes, there's people doing CIMA. Okay, people believe I have to finish school, I go to university. That is the mentality. I have to go to university. You go to university, fine, you get a degree. Find a degree, you get a job. When you get inside your employer, environment, you find that those who are going to the top are people who got professional qualifications. When they want to promote, they are looking for CIMA, for all these qualifications. So people do BCom because that's what they know. They don't know any better. They go get a degree. They say, oh, it's time to do honors. They say, no, but why should I do it? I better just do it. Because you find the finance director, that's what he has. The finance manager, that's what he has. The company is busy pushing people to get professional because that is a profession. You're not in the profession. You're not at university. You're in the profession. The company is competing for world class. If their competitors are staffed by professionals who have passed international exams, it means that if the company wants to go global, it is staffed with people who got an international qualification, isn't it? But a degree, we all know degrees have different qualities. A degree from one university is not. So this BCom, some universities have BCom is stronger, some is weaker, but there's one CIMA. So when employers are looking for excellence, benchmark, a certain thing to say, this means I can compete anywhere in the world with my staff. They won't be looking for staff with degree. They'll be looking for staff who got international professional qualification. So if that question you are asking, which one is more popular, BCom is more popular than CIMA. Let's get that very clear. But it's for the wrong reasons. As an employer, anytime you just give me somebody with a BCom and somebody with certificate level CIMA, not even the whole CIMA. I don't know if you get the difference. Someone who's just passed just CIMA operational level, for instance, and a BCom, even honors, I will choose the CIMA operational level anytime. As an employer, because I know the difference. It is very, very clear. But an HR department which does not know the difference, what is CIMA? This is a diploma. This is a degree. Let's just take it. So you have some advantage, but just know that over time, the CIMA guy will get ahead of you. You become your boss. So I hope that answers the question. Exemption for people with MBA. Okay, this person probably has an MBA, and you're wondering what exemptions can I get? Okay, let me just go back to the qualification. People have what is called the Management Gateway Exam. Some call M. Don't get confused. CIMA also has what is called Management Case Study Exam, MCS. Okay, if you have an MBA, CIMA says, okay, we will exempt you from all these modules. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus case study, 9, 10, 11. We'll give you 11 exemptions. Okay? So all the way to this level, they will not exempt you from the management case study exam. You will write this exam, which we will call it the management gateway exam. It's your gateway into CIMA. If you pass this exam, so it's almost like saying, okay, you got an MBA, that means you have a qualification which is all the way to this level. Write this case study. If you pass, will immediately allow you to progress with your CIMA level. Then you'll be left with 1, 2, 3, and the final case study. So an MBA person will face with 4 more exams: management case study, OT, strategic case study. You submit your work experience, you pass. I know that they call it the gateway exam, but please don't get lost. That exam is exactly the same with this one. You'll be writing the same exam with people who are doing this one. So even though you just call it gateway, gateway is just a name for MBA people. This exam is the same with everybody. We do run a course to prepare you to write this exam if you're coming with an MBA. But that course will always tell you that you need to sit back and review this. Not to write the exam, because this case study is examining this 3. The people in that class are people who have just passed those 3 modules. So they know what CIMA is looking for. So if you come with your MBA, you got your MBA like 8 years ago from some university that was not even very strong on financial management. And then you sit with these people in the class. When we start analyzing the case study, anything we raise, they'll be talking about it, you'll be lost. So we tell you, if you got an MBA, yes, you can go in here, but you can take what is called our combo 4. You attend these classes, but you don't write the exam because you've been exempted. You attend it with those who are going to be writing the exam. So when we start preparing for the case study, you are not lost. So I hope that answers your question. I've now done with my section. With my questions. Okay, my part is now finished. Like I mentioned to you guys at the beginning, I have to pause somewhere and run to my class at 11. I now want to take questions, follow-up questions on my first part. Remember, we said there are two parts. My colleague will come and continue with part two, the courses, the timetables, and all the rest. Then you're going to ask her questions. Are there any questions that arises from the part I've presented today? Either a question that you asked, I did not answer it very well, you want to do a follow-up if you're online, or you are here, you want to ask me further questions on what I presented. I'm now open to take your questions. I'm going to start online, one face-to-face, until I exhaust the questions and I go. How much time do I have? 10 minutes. Okay, let's just find who is coordinating online. Privilege. I'm now open for questions online. Are there any questions posted by our online colleagues?
Yes, we have one from Livwani.
Privilege, test it. Can you hear me, Privilege?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, I'll come back to you. Can you check why Privilege I'm not getting a I'm interested in knowing whether there are questions online. Let's go face to face. For those of you who are here face to face, are there any questions which you want me to answer? Really? Yes. Do you guys offer a learnership program? Are you? We do have an internship program for our full-time students. We have CIMA full-time, we have CIMA part-time. 80% of our students are part-time. We have a specific program for our full-time students. They are studying CIMA with us full-time to come to class every week. On that one, we arrange internship with them. But part-timer, we don't. So if that part is very important to you, you have to join the full-time program because we introduce this to employer and they take them from us. There are other things we do though, because employers know that we teach them. Okay? They always call us. We're looking for similar guys who have finished them. Can you find CVs? We always go back to us. We see that we finished, but that it happens ad hoc. You know what it's called ad hoc? Ad hoc means as and when employers ask us. When they ask us, we get the CVs, we send you. But the one where we actually go out and organize for our students and place them in companies to get relevant. Okay. Next question. Yes. Oh, there are many more questions. Let me start with you. Yeah.
For fast-paced program. For example,
Okay, you got exempted operational level. So you've been exempted from all these. Okay, yeah, carry on. I'm listening. Yeah. Starting with this one.
This one.
Yes.
Big program.
Okay, it's called tuition and exam preparation package. Yeah.
So now I'm in a situation where I'm looking
to write exams in May.
In a position where I write the case study in May.
Okay.
And I'm looking end of March, end of April, where I'm looking to write
the OT exams. So that you can write in May.
So that I can write in May. Deadline is when I meet for. So
okay.
So I was one of those that just promoted daily without it. Now, so my question is, there a program where they can accommodate me. I think for me this year,
I think I want to make sure. I think I get your question. My colleague was supposed to address it, but let me. Okay, right now our course, this term you are talking about. Okay, when does our term finish? End of May. The direct answer to your question is no, we don't have. Okay, let me qualify the no nonetheless. We have a semester which is about to start. Okay, in 2 weeks. Is it in 2 weeks or in 1 week? It's about to start. Okay, that semester itself, this term means tuition and exam preparation. We split this period, we say for 2.5 months, we'll be doing tuition, teaching everything. For another 1.5 months, we'll be doing exam preparation. That whole semester itself ends in May. Okay? That therefore means you can't write the case study in May because you have to finish that and write the OTs and pass. And at the end of that course, it might take you 3 weeks or 4 weeks because you can take 1 week, revise one OT, you go right. Take another one, then within 3 weeks, you can write all the 3 OT and pass. That means you might only be able to have passed the 3 OTs early June. That's how it is currently scheduled. So this semester is structured for somebody who is aiming to write a case study in August, not in May. Because you finish in May, you can then use June. Okay, you write your 3 OTs. Okay, you have July, August, September. Sorry, July and August. By the time you write your 3 case studies in June, you get your results. You can now, because you must have passed the OTs at least 1.5 months before the case study cycle. Okay. So at that level, the answer is no. But here's what you could do. Okay. There are ways you could go about around this. This our course, although it runs till May, we finish the tuition phase somewhere around early April. You're going to see that when the timetable comes in. Okay. Where and I'm saying it because we've had students in the past who says, I want to write the May case study. Okay. They follow the course all the way to April. They finish the tuition phase. Okay. Every course we run, we record it. For instance, when you join CharterQuest, every class we run, it is recorded. And even that same class for the last batch, you have access to those records. So you're getting, if you want to prepare for class, you say class 1, E1. You already have access to the class 1, E1 from the last semester. You have that. So we have the full pre-record. It's available to you. So you attend the classes. When you get to tuition, which is April, you come out and continue your revision using those last set of revision pre-recorded. Because in that way, because we structure a 1 class per week, but you can structure and go through all those revisions in 1 week on your own. Are you with me? Clear that, go write your exam, so that by the time these people are in May, you are long already passed. Then that allows you early April to then register for the case study. So that you can do. We've had people who've done that and they've succeeded. Many people did that, it didn't work, but that option is there. Not as part of, that's what I would call your closer to your crash program. I hope that answers you. Okay. They do have it. I don't want to lie. If I lie, please just correct me. I don't know. They do have access. So that's your answer. Next question. Yes. Sure. If I want to study full time, starting from certificate level, yes. Yes. You see, there's an award here. It's called CIMA Certificate in Business Accounting. It's an NQF level 5 post-metric qualification. If you finish this one, CIMA gives you that. They give you this certificate.
At what stage will that be expired?
Experience, you can get it even before you start CIMA, during your studying CIMA, or long after you finish the CIMA.
Oh, they allow me to do all until.
Yeah, experience is a different thing. You just need to produce it for you to be called chartered. When you finish all the exams, you are called a CIMA passed finalist. It's in you have passed all the exams. The chances are that if you started from here, You'll be sitting with this certificate which does not require experience. Okay? You'll be sitting with this certificate which does not require experience. You'll be sitting with this advanced diploma which does not require experience. And then when you pass this, it simply means you got all these, pass, now you finish all the exams. CIMA is waiting for you to bring that experience. So they can, and then they can call you chartered management. Okay. Does that answer you? Great stuff. Now online, anybody online with a question?
Hi, Mr. T.
Online is fun.
Hi, Mr. T. Hello. Hello.
I hope they are hearing me.
They can hear you clearly.
But it means this thing is not coming back.
There's no feedback coming from.
Okay, how about, okay, since I'm in a rush,
Yeah.
tell me what the question is there, and since they can hear me, I'll answer that. Yes, what's the question? Sorry, I'll come back to you. Yes.
Can you sign off company financials for qualified subject or EA only who can sign?
Okay, the question is, can we sign off a CIMA company financials if you're a CIMA qualified graduate, or only CASAs are allowed to sign? From? Okay, hi, Vivo. I take a note of your question. The answer is yes and no. Okay. Let's. You just called company financial. Now, a company could be a PTY company. It could be a public company, a listed company. It could be a closed corporation. You just said, can you sign up company financial? The answer is yes and no. If the company is a closed corporation in South Africa, CIMA graduates are recognized and approved to sign off the financials of closed corporations. So with respect to closed corporations, there is no higher recognition between CIMA, CIPA members, CICA members, and CIMA. They are all allowed. CIMA members can also be controlling over as tax practice, okay, for closed corporations. Now, however, when you move to company, as in PTY company and listed companies, the answer is no. If you're dealing with PTY companies, if the company is required to be audited and the results submitted to SARS, or if it's a listed company, obviously listed company is required to be audited. On that one, CIMA members are not allowed to sign off. They can do all the paperwork, but a CASA is the only party allowed to sign. In fact, it's a CASA who is an RA. An RA means you are a CASA and then you are a registered auditor. You can't just be a CASA, you're not allowed to do it. That means after you become a CASA, you must apply to EBA to become a registered auditor. And EBA has what is called an 18-month audit development program. That is outside from your 3 years article. So you go your 3 years articles, you pass your board, you have been signed up as a CASA. If you want to start signing up financial statements for PTYs and public companies, you need to apply to EBA that I want to be a registered auditor. You go through a further 18 months of audit where you work specifically in audit under a supervised partner. After that, you are now also called an RA. So you're a CASA and then you are an RA. Those are the only other people who would sign off financials as in PTY and those of listed companies. Other than that, CAs and every other person, they can all do for closed corporation. So I hope that answers your question. Is there any other one online? Okay, good. I pray that it's finished so I can finish this one. Okay, now face to face. Any more questions? Yes, please. You raised me of CIPA. Okay. Yeah. I'm a CIPA member. I went for an international job opportunity for a Dutch company, and I picked up some gaps between my knowledge and skills and as a CIPA member and what that international role requires. Or as an individual, okay. What is your question?
So my question is I still
At the time you first registered with CIMA, you were already a CIPA member. Okay. So you had never claimed exemptions from CIMA on the basis of your CIPA membership. And you now want to know whether you can now come back and claim. But you had previously claimed on the basis of a degree. And that degree gave you exemption up to what? E1 and E2. Yes, you can. Yes, you can go back with your cyber. Okay, and because even if you are not a cyber member, when you come as a cyber member, there are certain exemptions you get. You are never claimed using the cyber, so you can go back to say, yes, I know I claimed on this. At that time, I had a degree. It gave me up to this. I have since then pursued the cyber route, right? And I'm now a fully qualified, and I want to reapply for new exemption on the strength of my cyber membership. So yes, you should be able to get it. And I can tell you now what I think they are likely to do. There are two ways. I also need to. Do you have up to 10 years work experience? You got up to 10 years work experience. Okay. If you have up to 10 years work experience, the chances are that here's what is going to happen. Right now, cyber members with 10 years work experience right now, okay, cyber is a member of IFAC. You know what is IFAC? International Federation of Accountants. All professional bodies who are members of IFAC, if they are the members of that professional body, they have a specific entry route into CIMA. Okay, that entry route allows you to go straight here. Okay, you can write this final exam. Okay, which obviously requires you this three. It's what is called the global CA route. But here's what CIMA is going to do. They're going to want to see what is the nature of your 10 years experience. They likely, if you got 10 years experience, which is relatively in a senior role in business, it doesn't have to be finance director. Okay. Let's say at management level upwards. Okay. They allow you to give you to come here straight. But if you got 10 years, it's relatively at the junior level, they might get you out of this and allow you come here. It is still an improvement because right now, your current qualification wanted you to still do this to me. Okay. Now, if they allow you to come here, it simply means they've now given you up. Okay. And they will not be giving you this. So if you went right now, you still have to do 1, 2, 3. Are you with me? With your cyber and 10 years, maybe junior level experience, probably you have to do this one. So the cyber membership has given you 2 more exemptions. Then that allows you to continue there. But right now, cyber member as a member of IFA with 10-year relatively senior experience, they join what is called the Global CA program. They allowed even CASAs, even ACCA members, they all are allowed to come in here as a direct route. So the real issue would be, yes, your cyber member can give you more. How much more depends on the strength and quality of your experience or your skill. No. CIMA, they're quite flexible now with the policy. You are coming with a qualification you did not have at the time. Okay, so I know many. It was not cyber, but I know many cases where people left. What other qualification came back? We got 1 or 2 more. I can't see why cyber would not. Because cyber even takes you much further. So that I'm sure. Quick one. Did you write any exams? Okay. Yes, for the benefit of others sitting here. For the benefit of others sitting here. Okay, then you're fine. Because once you have written an exam and you fail, you can't go get some qualification and come and ask for exemption for that exam. They won't give it to you. So my answer assumes that you just register, you never really wrote the exam. So you are not claimed and actively studying. Because if you are done at, even your extra cycle will not accept. They'll tell you no, go and finish that exam. So yeah. Okay, any other question? Okay, sure. Any other question, guys? Okay, may I be I've got the class starting very shortly. I need to rush to Livonia. Thank you so much for being. There are too few questions. That means you don't understand me. You overstand. Okay. The fewer the questions, the more it means you have over. Instead of understanding, you have overstood. Okay. Thanks so much. I'm going to request my colleague patients to come in now and take you with the second part of the presentation, which deals with our study options and all the rest. You have a good rest of the weekend. Thanks so much. Okay, so can I check this thing? You don't need it, right?
All right. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to present our timetables, study options. I'm sure some of you already know where to start, but I will just also take you through that process. I think this part of my presentation, I'll take about 15 minutes, and we should be done also depending on the questions that we have. So obviously, I think the first thing is it's better for me to take you through everything via our website, where I'm able to, at least at your own time also, if you need anything, you can still go back there and you can get all the information. Because I know sometimes you go back home and then you keep thinking and more questions will arise. If we can. All right. So I think what Mr. is taking us is what is the CIMA qualification as actually are no Christian. And I think now we understand there's the certificate in business accounting, which is the NQF level 5. So that is that whole certificate level. And from operational level going up, that's what they call professional qualification. And that's the way you start from your NQF level 6, then now we now recognize up to the NQF level 8. So that's then the program. So we should then say you study yes, and the certificate level, which we say we start at full-time, others attend part-time. It's also study 6 months. So if you're taking say certificate level now, you can choose to take the 4 modules, BA1, BA2, BA3, BA4 over 12 months. Or you can say, okay, the 12 months, I mean, you take BA1 and BA2 first semester, first intake. It's February to May, around June thereabout, it finishes. So it's the first 6 months of the year. You take 2 modules. The second half of the year, you take the other 2 modules. Other people then take 6 months, meaning they take all 4 in the first intake. So that's how the certificate in business accounting can be split. And others then can take online, or others can do face-to-face, others can do full-time. This is what Mr. T has taken us already through, so there will be nothing further yet to go through. And I just think on the exam format, that's how I'll also present our classes. There is the objective test, which is the multiple choice. So those blocks, your E1, P1, F1, they are called objective tests. Then the case studies, those 3 case studies, remember from operational level, management, and strategic level, that's where you've got case studies. So for someone who's doing certificate level, you don't have a case study. Once you finish your 4 modules, you go straight into operational level. So when I'm also explaining our how we take you through, I will explain it in that way, objective tests and case studies, because we teach them differently. Case studies, remember that this thing you get 6 weeks before the exam, you need to study it. The way you write the case study exam is also different from how the objective tests are much choice. Case studies, you actually more essay type. You have to type in questions or also things. All right. So this is for someone who probably also maybe has not checked their exemptions yet or where they start with CIMA. So when you come onto our website, there is the part which says new to CIMA. So when you click new to CIMA, you then see if you have a diploma, a BCom or BCom, any other prior qualification that you have. So you just click through this to say check exemptions now. It will take you to the CIMA website. Put this and this, so we'll give you this exemption. So this is just a guidance for anyone who has questions where to start and everything you do it. CIMA doesn't charge exemption fees anymore. So you then just pay your £85, get ready to start. I will explain more details in terms of how then to study. If you coming straight from metric, like how Mr. T showed us, you start at certificate level. So let's say you don't have a BCom, a diploma, or anything. CIMA allows you to start as long as you can read and write, understand English. That's it. They don't even need the metric certificate. So you just register your account, and then you say you start at certificate level, and then that's it. You then just start to register your Cert BA. You choose then how you want to study, part-time, full-time, how you want to take those. For MBA, like the CIPA members, also you can then start at management case study, which is the gateway exam. Others have got work experience. So let's say you have worked in corporate for more than 10 years, 20 years. CIMA also gives exemptions based on that. So other students, they also come to this route. It is quite pricey. So when you click there, you will see the prices. So this you pay to CIMA. So it just depends if you're operational level. It depends also with your work experience. If you've been at a lower level, you can start at operational level case study. That's the fee you pay CIMA, £1,500. And then your benefits, you get your registration, your fee, even your classes will be included. So if you have prior work experience and you don't have a qualification, that is another route to start your CIMA qualification. And if you're a CASA member, so CIMA and SAICA has got a pathway. So if you're a CIMA member, you only need to write the one exam, which is the ITC exam, and then you qualify to be a CASA. So that is just one pathway CIMA and SAICA has. Obviously, your SAICA articles matter if you have the relevant work experience that SAICA needs matters as well. So you just need to ensure that you follow that. So that in a nutshell just takes us through now to, okay, where do I start with CharterQuest? So firstly, you register with CIMA. You need to belong to the professional body. So you create your profile. As a student, now you're now registered with CIMA, they recognize you because remember when you're writing with CIMA. So CIMA maintains your profile. Each year, you will need to pay a subscription fee for belonging to the professional body. So firstly, we recommend all our students, they register, you get your contact ID. Some of you may want to say, okay, when I pay my fees, I'll pay the fees to CIMA. Please pay to CIMA on my behalf. We can do so. So as long as you've created your profile, you give us your my CIMA contact ID and the password, we'll be happy to log in and do the remittances for you. We recommend you do this yourself because as the student, you need to get to accept the CIMA code of conduct. You now belong to the professional body. There is so much about it that you need to understand. So that's why we would recommend that you at least familiarize yourself. We don't want someday you're caught off guard and then you say, oh, the school did it for me. So you need to then just get yourself ready there. Then step 2 is to check your exemptions, which I've shown you how to do already. Step 3, now you register for the classes. And then after the classes, you then be ready for the exam. So now I'll take you through step 3 and step 4 in my presentation. So the study options that we offer. So again, on our website, I think you do the CIMA, so you just click objective test or case study. I'll start first with the objective. So with the objective test, we've got 3 intakes, right? So we've got the intake now in February, which is semester 1, February to May. We've got June to September, we've got September to November. So you can attend classes for objective test over. Then we do have for case studies, and then join via the different sessions, which I'll take you. Payment options, if you're self-sponsored, you can pay 20% deposit, and then you can pay the balance over 6 months. So during the enrollment process, you can structure your payments as well if you're self-sponsored. And we also have discounts available for self-sponsored students. Like now, we've got a promotion if you're paying, even if it's one module, and you pay in full by end of the month, you get a 10% discount on that module. It's only valid until 31st January. Afterwards, we do have other discounts for self-sponsored students. Like, let's say if you're taking 2 modules, 3 modules, there's a certain discount that you get depending on the number of modules you get. So this is for part-time students who are attending face-to-face. Online classes, they are already discounted, so there are no discounts for online students. For you who are here today, if you wish then to even study here face-to-face, you'll get a discount for coming to the open day. If you're online, again, if you then choose face-to-face, you get discount. It's only the online packages that doesn't have discount. Mode of delivery online on campus, and you can also have the pre-recorded self-study option. So I'll take you through the package benefits. I hope you can see, sorry, a bit up a bit. So this is what we call our TEP package. I think that's what you also spoke about. So this we call it the tuition and exam preparation package. What we mean by this package is that, let's say we are taking you through BA1. BA1 might have 14 chapters. We will take you through the tuition of each and every chapter, and we'll then prepare you for the exam. That's why we call it exam preparation. So we'll take you through the tuition phase, and then we go through the exam preparation. So we also say if you take everything that we're saying in this package, the test package, you will pass your exam first time. So we do have then our contact classes, which is the tuition classes and the exam preparation classes. So you will find that, let's say you've got 14 chapters. So you then say, okay, maybe 2 chapters a day if you have 7 classes. So we'll then make sure that, okay, we take things on 3-hour session per class. You are attending weekends. You are doing this 8 to 11, 11 to 2, or 2 to 5. So others will take 3 modules. You find they've got 9 hours, the full day on campus. If you choose evenings, you then attend between 6 and 9 o'clock. So it's only 1 module we can do over the evening. And it will be 1 module per level in each week. So if you're taking operational level, you'll find it's P1 maybe on Monday, E1 on Tuesdays, F1 on Wednesdays. If you're doing weekends, we do all on one day. So here we run operational level, for example, on a Saturday. Others opt to say, I can take F1 evening, then weekend, maybe I can do 1, so that maybe I have time for other things. Others may take 2 over evenings, 1 over weekends. So it's all up to you how you wish to take. We do have 4 sessions. So depending on work, others work late. They prefer that, look, during the week I'll just do work, and then over the weekend I'll attend all my classes. It all depends with you. You can also split to say, I'll take P1 in semester 1, then maybe F1 and E1 in semester 2, because we also need to understand that it is challenging and there is quite a lot of work to do. So you don't want to pile up a lot of work. Maybe if you end up failing to attend your classes, or you can't manage the workload. So we allow you to do both. So when you enroll under semester 1, you can add all the modules, but then just give us your study plan to say, I wish to take P1 and F1 in semester 1, E1 in semester 2. I'll take my case study in November or in August, something like that. You are able to do that. So I was on the classes in this package. So those are the tuition and the exam preparation classes. So all our classes are recorded. So you'll be able to access pre-recorded classes. So again, BA1, let's say those 14 chapters, if you miss day one, maybe we covered chapter 1 and chapter 2, you can go back, watch what we have online, or you can then say maybe before the class, I want to just make sure I get in, I study what we have, and then I understand it. You can even watch all those videos, prepare for class, and then come through. So these videos are available anytime. Before the course, once you register, you've got access. You will have access for a year as well. So we will try our best to make sure that even if you're live streaming, sorry, I keep talking to people here, live streaming, again, if you miss your live stream class, you can do that. So there's the Kaplan study text, and you get the Kaplan practice kit. And as you recall, we said we give both BPP and Kaplan, so you get a BPP practice kit. This applies to our TEP package. We get your test. So CIMA's test, I need to also just explain a little bit more on this. Objective tests like your E1, P1, F1, which are not case studies. The final exam is computer-based. All CIMA exams are computer-based. You can do them from home. So CIMA has got an online exam facility, which you can book yourself or we can book you. Just make sure you are in a room, it's quiet, there aren't things on the walls, you've got a stable internet, you've got a camera, they want to see you, you have an online invigilator, you can write from home, or you can write from our campuses. All our campuses are Pearson VUE approved centers. So we do have that option now also as a tuition provider, that you have a student portal that allows you to test yourself, because you don't want to, the first day of class, be struggling to say, the first day of it, writing your exam, be struggling to say, okay, this is a drag and drop. You don't want to start to see those questions or the style on the first day. So all our mocks are online based. We've tried our best, though it is not exactly as the way CIMA has on their exam platform. On our platform, we've tried our best to have the same type of questions, drag and drop, fill in, type in. So you get 6 online timed mocks, just like that. You get 2 online tests, you get a final mock. I'll show you on the timetable. Then you also, the CIMA exams, I must also indicate, the final exam is 90 minutes, 1 hour, 30 minutes for objective test. You need 100 over 150 to pass. It's a 99, it's a fail. 100 over 150. So it's not like your normal 50% average mark pass. So that's why we really say that it is quite challenging and you really need to prepare yourself. Case studies, on the other hand, they are also computer-based, just like these, but they are 3-hour exams. So that's the reason why we take you through a different methodology for case studies, and I'll explain that. But for OTs, it's 90 minutes. So all our tests are also timed in such a way that we also teach you how to allocate your time during your test. It's very important, because in the final exam, you don't want to miss marks because you couldn't answer the question. It will allow you to flag questions, come back to them later, because sometimes you want to start maybe with the ones you can answer, go take them out of the way, come back, answer then those ones you flagged, it will show you, so you can flag questions, come back, do stuff. More benefits on this tech package. You get course notes, which are like lecturer's notes. You get a scheme of work, which tells you what you need to do every day. So that's the 7 weeks, we will show you day 1 we'll do this, day 2 we'll do this. So that's the scheme of work. And like I said, you've got 1 year access to the portal, and you get interactive online support as well. So we've got WhatsApp groups, and we've got our lecturers in there. So let's say you also don't want this step package, but you want a package that you just come for revision. This is for someone who's probably, maybe just if you've done this before, you just want to revise, you just want to prepare for the exam. You can take this, we call it our EPOP package. So you find that this one, the difference with the step package is you don't have tuition. You only come in for revision. Others, they take this package. You get the recorded videos for the revision. You get the Kaplan practice kit, so you don't get the PPT in this case, you don't get the study text, and then you still get the mocks and the rest of the support that you have. So this doesn't come with a first-time pass guarantee, but we don't know, the tuition, how you understand things, to not be interacting with the lecturer, to what extent are you ready for this exam, we don't know. So that's why you don't have a first-time pass guarantee. So that's the step, that is the exam preparation package for objective online. So let's say even though you are here today, or probably you're online, you want to take this online option. Again, the same payment terms apply for students in South Africa. Live stream interactive. So if you look at our live stream interactive package, it's exactly like our TAP package. Everything that a TAP student gets, you also get. So you've got your tuition classes, video recorded classes, your Kaplan books, BPP as well, your mocks, your study course notes, and everything. It's only that the difference is you're not coming to campus. You're live streaming. So the fee is already discounted here. It's 4,375. That one is 650. So face-to-face students can get discounts in the process. So that is the live stream package. I will just take you through the timetable. Just note also the live stream package comes with ebooks. It says e-study text, e-practice as well. The reason for this is normally online students, they prefer their books and everything online. However, you can upsell to hard copy books. So during the process of getting a quotation, you can then add in and say, no, I don't want ebooks. I want to have hard copy books. If you get hard copy books, you can access, there is a code that you scratch. When you scratch that code, you can access the ebooks. So the good thing about the hard copy books is you get both. Ebooks, you can't get hard copy. You have to choose either of the two. But hard copy books, they're so good that also there's a My Kaplan section you get questions and other activities. So if you get hard copy books, that's the advantage of that. So that is our live stream package. I will not take time, as I said, it's just like the step package. We've got the recorded video class. So this one is for someone who wants to study at their own pace. So for example, you probably say, okay, you know what, maybe I'm unable to attend weekly, I've got a busy schedule, or I need to write this exam in this certain period of time, so I need to do it in this manner. You can get our video recorded class package. So this package comes with both tuition and exam preparation pre-recorded. Everything else you get like a TEP student, except the BPP practice. So you find that the BPP practice is on our live stream and our TEP package. But you can always buy this separately if you also show you. Again, the mocks and the way we take the more benefits, you also get the online mocks and everything. You do have then the last package for 750. This is for someone who said, I just want your video. I've got my own notes, I've got my own other things. We do give the notes anyway, because for you to understand the videos and the slides, you need them. But someone might say, I have my own questions, I have my way around, I just want your videos, or maybe you put something else that you want to supplement with our course. You can get the videos and notes package. So this is for the objective test. I will take you to the case study class. But just before I do that, you noticed on that exemptions page we opened, some of you might be exempted for P1, E1, and F1, and you start directly at the case study. Remember, the case study is there to test your, those five technical competency areas. Your business skills, people skills, and all of those skills are packed in the OT. So it is so difficult for you to join the CIMA qualification and jump straight to the case study. You don't know, or you have not refreshed what is in the E1 module, what is in the P1 and F1. We normally will recommend then that you refresh the OTs that you've been exempted. So that P1, E1, and F1, we say go into class as if you're going to write exams. Whilst the other students are going to write exams, what you then do is you then start your case study preparation. Most of the students who do that, they pass their first time when they write their case study. Imagine you're just sitting and then you're being told about some NPV value. You probably started this 3 years ago. That's why you got the exemption. But what CIMA exactly is saying there is, this is in P1. Have you gone, have you refreshed, have you studied that? So that's why I'm just showing you this, that if you then are exempted, you're exempted, you started the case study, please choose one of these options to refresh before you go into the case study. Otherwise, you go into the case study, you pay exam fees, you fail, you go, you pay, you fail. The same money you could have deployed to refresh and get into the case study ready. This applies to all the students starting at operational level going up. So for case studies now, okay, we come here with the case studies. So we've got 4 intakes because CIMA has got 4 cycles. Unlike the OTs, you can write anytime. So classes are finishing end of May. Anytime you can book to write your exam. With case studies, there's a certain period by when you should book to write the exam, by when you should write the exam itself. So we then run our classes according to that. Like right now, we've got the February case study cycle classes running. The students will be writing in Feb. After that, we'll have the May seating. I think there was a question around that as well. So after this will probably be for somebody who's already finished maybe last year, or they started now, they're doing some other option, or maybe attending our classes as well, but they'll stop earlier and join the case study classes. It's also possible. You then find others sitting for that class. August. So let's say you finish your OT classes in semester 1 in May. You've got June, July to write the OT. Or if you are not exempted, for example, you then start preparing for the August case study and the November season. What I must also indicate is that CIMA has got 2 pre-scenes per year, though there are 4 intakes. So if you're going into the August case study, your pre-scene is going to be the same as the November. Sorry, if you're going to the May, your pre-scene is the same as August. So let's say you sit in May, you fail, you can retake the case study exam in August under the same pre-scene. If you go into the November case study and February, the pre-scene is also the same. So the pre-scene information is the company that you will be writing the exam on. So November and February is the same. May and August is the same. So it's all up to you how you then plan, or you structure your study plan to say, I'll do all my OTs, I'll write my case study in August. Instead of investing a lot of time in doing these things, this is how I plan to write my case study. That's quite important to also know. Payment options are the same as OTs, and mode of delivery also the same. Just the TEP also, we've got EPOP and TEP tuition and exam preparation package. Again, it's the same way. We take you through tuition classes where we then say, okay, we take you through this pre-scene industry analysis with the lecturer, like what Mr. Ntie was saying. We take 2 days with that. We go into exam preparation again. We start to give you drills to say, okay, this was the pre-scene about ShopRite. There was an extended question. The extended question could be maybe saying, ShopRite wants to now open a new branch in this area. Remember, you've been studying the industry. You've been studying ShopRite. You've been studying even if they are capable of opening a new shop. You have their financials, everything. So we start to give you all that exam preparation classes, and we start to prepare you for the exam in our classes, the same way we do with the OT. Then we do give you the marking grid. So this is also, case studies are marked. Remember those 5 competency areas? During the classes, we will mark your mocks, and we will tell you that, okay, you are weak on technical skills, or you're good here. So all those areas, each case study, each level has got a certain percentage they allocate to technical skills. For example, at operational level, more emphasis is on technical skills because operationally that's what you're doing, you're more technical. As you go to management level, they are looking at your leadership skills, people skills. Though there are technical skills there, the percentage will be lower, but your management, your people skills, leadership skills, those will then go up. As you get to strategic level, it's balanced. It's the same. So that's why then we make sure that as we are marking your mocks, we are also making sure you understand. Because if you then know that, oh, okay, I lack people skills. This is found in my E2, my E1 module. I need to go back and I need to refresh this, and that. Then I make sure that I pass my case study. We give you a workbook. So this is the case analysis book. So that pre-scene, that's those two pre-scenes, there's a specific case analysis book we give you. It comes from Kaplan. So there's no textbook for this case study because remember, textbooks are released once a year in January. We don't know what the case study will be in May. So that's why you find that then your pre-scene, your case analysis will only then be for the case study cycle as CIMA releases these case studies. You get mocks just like your objective test. You get also an online final mock. Like I said, case study final exam is 3 hours. So we also give you internal test in 3 hours. So you actually type. So you need then in the classes, you will then be learning how to make sure you answer each question on time and you're not exceeding the time. The third thing about case studies, which is also good because in the real world, you are given a deadline. Your manager will come and say, I need a report by 9 o'clock and stuff. You need to manage how you're going to put all of that together. In the case study, again, it will be the same thing. The board of directors, the ShopRite, have requested that you submit this and this and this. You've got 30 minutes under this task. So which means you need to think, you need to be able to type fast, and you need to be able to ensure that you're also doing the right thing. So you're under pressure. So we also try to give you almost the same layout as you are in our classes and in everything, even in the mock exam, so that at least by the end of the day you understand. You get solutions and you get it marked, and then you get prepared for the exam. There's even another mock exam you get before you face the final exam, because we want to make sure that you are really, really ready for this. So you get another mock, though it will not be marked, the self-assessment, you will still get the solution, and at least you will know after your lecturer's feedback, in my final mock, I didn't do well, but this is what I've done. Other students, they push, please help me, I need to make sure this I've done right. Lecturers are open to also mark. So we do support you throughout the process. We support you, so even if it's tapped online, we do have the online support, and you get a pre-course guidance again. We also understand, let's say you've not worked in a work environment, you don't even know how to write emails formally, and you know how you address your superiors and stuff. So there is some guidance that you get on the portal. Remember, some are not working, they will only attain their work experience after, or they're studying full-time. So there is a way we also integrate everyone. So we make sure that even though you're not working, at least the way you write, present yourself, you're demonstrating that you understand, because that's what CIMA wants. Imagine in your job application, you're then doing that. An employer will see that, you see your CIMA, and they can tell that this is a serious candidate. So as long as you try your best to go through all of that, you'll be good. Then you've got interactive online support. So like we've got our online WhatsApp group as well, and you have 6 months access, unlike the 1 year access you've got on your OT exam portal. Again, like I said, the EPOP package is for someone again who say, I don't want the tuition portion to miss the first 2 days, and anything that relates to us debriefing the pre-scene with you. You will only come for exam preparation, like the mocks, the exam preparation classes, post mocks and everything. So this is also paid for someone who's written by themselves, they felt, they understand the pre-scene, they just want to come for exam prep before they write. We do have quite a number of students who come in that. We do have, again, the same package option for online. Again, same payment option. Our tech option for case studies is just the same as the live stream again. There's nothing different. All the videos, all the classes are recorded. So even if you're tech or you're live stream, 2 days after the class, you get a recorded video. These ones, though we do a master class, a pre-scene analysis, remember the pre-scene is different every sitting, so we don't have like a pre-recorded videos you can access. But after every class, you can access the videos. Then, like I said, the marking grid, so everything that you get on the package for case studies, you get also here. Recorded videos, again, you just don't interact with the lecturer, but you get access to the recorded. And you get also the videos and notes option, where you don't have any mocks, but you have the case analysis book, and you get the videos of the student. That's more or less around our classes for the tech, objective tests and the case studies. I will take you through now. I think there are some who may want to study full time. Gateway, sorry, before I go far. This is for them, those students who've got MBAs. If they are a member of the IFAC body, like the CIPA member. If you're a member of the IFAC body or some degrees and postgraduate qualifications like the CIMA at UNISA allows you to start there. Again, the TEP options is just the same as what we have given you. And the CIMA, the CITA to CIMA. So like I said, CIMA members can convert to CITA. CITA members also can come to CIMA. So if they are CASAs, they come, they write the strategic case study one exam only again, like the CIMA members who write one exam in CITA, and then they become CIMA members. Full time, I just wanted to highlight on this a bit. So remember, like we said, we've got the 6 months, 12 months option. We've got the 2 semesters. So classes, they start every March and August. So remember those 2 intakes when you're planning. You can take all 4 in March, which means to be busy, but I think you can because mostly you don't have anything else you're doing. So you can take 4 modules in the same semester. Others, they want to take it slow, which is completely understandable. You're getting into the CIMA qualification. Take 2 in March, 2 in August. So our classes then, they run through. So for an orientation on the 4th of March, because their classes are a little bit later than our own stuff. So what I want to include here is this, the work experience opportunity. And I think there was a question if we offer that support. So one thing that is included is the computerized accounting. So we understand most students are coming from matric. They have never worked in anywhere. They don't even know how an accounting software works. They are doing the debit and credit in BA3 in financial accounting. So what we then do is we say, start with BA2 and BA3. It gives you that introduction into the accounting world. After that, you can then start with this Sage Accounting Pascal course. Because remember, after then doing BA1 and BA2 and BA3, you can do Sage. After this, after completing the certificate level with the other 2 modules, at least you now know how an accounting software works. You can even add on your CV that you've got Sage Pascal. If you have Sage, yes, there are a lot of other accounting softwares out there, ERP softwares out there. But with Sage, you can apply what you have in Sage when you go through the other accounting software. So for a full-time student who has never worked, this is a very good addition to this. So by the time you go into operational level, you might want even start looking for a job, study part-time, and now you've got the knowledge and you at least have some experience. We do also have some projects that we do run. So we can also include you in those parts of those project management, because we want you to come out with some at least work experience. So we will then, as CharterQuest, include you in our own ongoing projects. At least you now have an idea of how project management works and you can be organized. Internships. So we can arrange internships with some of the employers that we have some relationships with. They'll say, okay, I need a CIMA student to come and shadow or to come for an internship program 1 year. Then from there, they can even grow into an employee. So that's why we do have our these 3 included in the full-time package. Full-time, you attend between 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock. sorry, 9 o'clock and 11 is 2 hours. Sometimes they go all up to 12 o'clock. So it's during the day. So this is for someone who's probably not working, because for those who are working, that's the time you need to be at work unless if you have some flexibility. So this is just our timeline to say, okay, operational level 6 months or 12 months, like we explained. Management level you can do in 9 months. Remember, the semester will be Feb to May. That's like 5 months. Then you need to do your case study. So that's why we say you've got 9 months here, 9 months here. You find that by the time you get to strategic level, you can take even all three at once in the first semester and then do your case study because you'll be so experienced with how to take the qualification. So that's why we have that timeline there to say 2 to 4 years. Others, they can start operational level, full-time at operational level. It's also possible. Then they can continue with the qualification. So you can enter full-time at any of these 4 levels, and you can then just study. The study benefits are just the same as the CAP package. We support you throughout. We even have more time with you than our other students. So the time might be different, like an hour's difference, but you have your lecturer here full-time, so you'll be able to get more support. So that is our full-time package, and including the work experience package. And the fees then is different, 30,900 a year, but it includes all the 4 modules. It just excludes exams and other fees to CIMA. This is just for charts. But all 4 modules are included. So whether it's certificate level, remember it's 4 modules. Operational level, it's 4 modules, including a case study. So the fees are also all included. So that is our full-time package. I'll take you through the timetables quickly where you can find them, and I think we should be done. So let's say now you want to find out the timetable. You click your timetable there. So this is CIMA. You want to study maybe operational level here at the Parktown campus. We also have the e-campus, but up to you. Want for today. Okay. There is Parktown semester. So like I said, with free intakes, all timetables are available. So I'll choose the February intake. Like I took you through tab for full time. Now I can now understand it much better. Anytime you can come and go out the timetable for tab full time. I'll just take both so you can see the structure. So there we go. Weekend classes are starting on the 12th of February, so it's like 6 times. So every Saturday between 8 and 11, we're doing P1. So remember those 7 tuition classes, they're actually 8. So it's 4 classes here. There's a test 1, which is online, opens on the 7th of March and closes on the 13th of March. So this test 1 will cover what you've done in class 1 to 4. Class 5 to class 8, test 2 will cover what you've done from class 5 to 8. You get your exam preparation stage now, where we then say, that's why we call it tuition and exam. So here now we are preparing you for the exam. So here was knowledge. That's 1 to 4 knowledge. Okay, test your knowledge now. We want to see, are you understanding what we are teaching you? Knowledge again, we're back to knowledge. Then test 2. Let's apply this. By the time you get here, you will know, okay, I struggle with this type of question. I struggle with this. We then start to do all those exam techniques. Remember multiple choice, they might seem easy, but they are not the easiest. You will get 3 correct answers, and you need to learn how to eliminate which one is the best. So our exam prep classes then will start taking you through that process. We do the first one. We give you what we call a final mock. So this final mock exam, that's the 90 minutes exam. You are ready now. Want to see, are you ready for the exam? Test 1 and test 2, they are like 45 minutes after mock exam. So you will then get your mock exam. Again, it will open over a certain period of time. It's open over a few days, but you need to choose which day, and you need to allocate 3 hours. You can't stop, I mean 90 minutes, sorry, because it's OG. You can't stop at 10 minutes and say, okay, I'll continue. No. Once you're ready, be sure you're ready to take the full 90 minutes, and you complete. So that is the structure for a temp, for a full-time student, and this is full-time classes. Again, you start your classes with us, and then you will attend your Mondays between 9 and 12, it's actually 3 hours. Then it's just the same structure of your classes. The case study timetable is also available. Just note that our case study classes, they run at our Stanton Rivonia campus because we want to integrate all the students in one place. Remember, it's all about debating this case study. Some you're coming from a different industry, different companies. You're all bringing in all the knowledge from the different areas you're coming from. So that's why we've got all our classes, our case study classes combined. So I will take you through the second. Remember, our classes will end on the 7th of May. If you start now in February on the 12th. So your case study, you're probably looking at August or November. So I'll go through the live stream for live stream. So I can choose the August case study. If you choose May, you will find that classes will start whilst 40 exams are still running. So this is the case study timetable, right? So you see the classes for August case study will start on the 10th of July, 1 month before. Then on the 17th, you'll continue. That's the tuition phase. We go into exam preparation phase. Before we finish the course, we give you a mock with what we call a mini mock. We want to see if you really understand what we are sharing with you. Again, like how you put it, test 1 and test 2. So that's like your test 1. Then you come back for exam prep. You do a final mock 3 hours. Remember, this one, your tutor has to give you feedback because it's different from a multiple choice that is self-marking. So you need to get your marking grid so you understand those technical competences. And then you then prepare that other post-mock that you said you get afterwards before the final exam. That's it. By then, you should be ready to write. And remember, you should have moved and be ready to write your exam on time. That's more around the timetables and the study. If you just want to buy books with us, you can also do so, or you want to add maybe going for another option. There is our CIMA, so it's a bookshop. Right now, it's an online bookshop, so you can get your books delivered, you can collect, you've got all the books, even BBP and Kaplan, we do sell on our online bookshop. So anytime you want to, just come to e-books, we do sell as well in hard copy. To enroll or to get a consultation, I think this is the last step now. So you want to register or you want to just get a code, come here. You click the get code email button on the top right, or I think there's a register now again at the top. Our campuses are listed. So besides Parktown, Victoria, Central, Livonia, for online. So you will need then to select, are you a new student or you are an existing student, self-sponsored or company-sponsored. So self-sponsored face-to-face students, those are the ones who get these discounts. We were explaining. Okay, face-to-face, there's Parktown campus. We're still yet to load our other semesters, but you can always put all your courses in that intake and then you can split them according to your study plan. So you can then choose your modules. Say, okay, I want to do year 1, year 2, year 4. Maybe then you can split how you want to take them. If you're doing case studies, you can choose one of the study options and then choose which case study you want to see. So others also choose the whole level. Say, okay, I'll take the whole refresher with all the 4 modules. It includes the case study as well. Then you go to the next page where you can then get your CIMA fees added or courier for books as well. So these are other fees excluding CharterQuest. Registration fee, like I said, you have created your My CIMA account, and then we come through now to, you can give us a lot of details, we'll submit for you, and then you can add the exam fees as well. So those are the 4 exam fees and my registration fee. So you can do it per level according to your level. This one I'm just doing for So they are the discounts. You find that because you selected 4 modules, we do have what we call our combo discounts. Ones they are always there. So already automatically you get a 20% discount. There are other discounts. So this is for face-to-face students. Online students, your fees are already discounted. So then if you want to pay it full by 31st of January, you get a 30% off. So our maximum discounts are 30%. So even if you qualify for other discounts, the system will not add on more to that. So you just depend on other discounts you get. Then you can get to our pricing page where then you see, oh, okay, so for these I've saved 7,500 for my combo discount. These are my fees to CIMA. Okay, when I want to pay these now, you can pay your exam fees later. So you can choose to say no. Let me just focus on my classes. When I'm ready for exam, I can choose to say, okay, I'll book one exam at a time. You can book yourself in my CIMA account, or you can pay us on our booking portal. So on this same booking portal, there's where it says book PC exam. You can just come to book to write at one of our centers and be ready to write it. So that's more around getting a quotation, and afterwards you can get it emailed or you can go straight to the register. You can pay online or you can pay at campus as well. So you put in your details, then the payment structure where you can structure your deposit to say, okay, maybe I want to pay 20% or I want to pay the full fee. After this page, then it will allow you to do that process. From my side, that's what our packages. I know there were some other questions that we have online. I'll try to answer those as quickly as possible. And if you have any questions, I'll also try to answer the questions that you have. So do you pay CIMA exam fees on behalf of the students? I think that was part of the last side of my presentation that yes, we can. So you can add them to your quotation and we can remit to CIMA on your behalf. There is a process that you get from us to say, okay, you paid us your exam fee, these are the vouchers, go and book your exams, and then when you are ready to write, you can then go. Dates when exams are written, and will it be online or at campus? So like I explained at the beginning, CIMA exams, you can write at campus, or you can write from home. So during the booking process, you can choose where you want to write from. CIMA introduced the at-home exams during the COVID period because remember there was a time when there was a total lockdown, you couldn't do anything. So that's how you can write your exams at home. Dates and when exams. I think we did explain online exams. You can write. 40 exams you can write anytime. Case studies are the ones that should be written. So there are certain timelines on the CIMA website on the exam deadlines for case studies. How to connect and attend live stream classes, access ebooks, as I have a challenge looking out E3 text in project. So our live stream classes, you get a link, a meeting link like your Zoom meeting. So you will connect your classes via that interactive system where your lecturer will be talking, other students in class can hear you as you speak, and then we'll both be able to interact with the lecturer. I don't know about the challenge of getting the support, but I think the person who asked this, there will be my email address in the end. I think just send me an email with the challenge you're facing because I think this could be personalized. But the ebooks are redeemed in the app called Project. That's where you actually redeem them. Question 4, how many intakes do you have a year? Can I register only for lessons in a semester and write exams the following semester? So that is possible. I think I've taken you through our OTs intakes. I've taken you through our OTs intakes. We've got 3 case studies, yes. Can I register now? Yes, you can, and then you can write exams in the following semester. You offer discounts on tuition to said most students that come from Uganda. So if you come from Uganda and you take 10% from here in South Africa, obviously our discount system will apply. Online students, unfortunately, they are not discounted because they are already discounted. Can I register 2 subjects in semester 1 and remaining 2 semester 2? Certainly, yes. We explained that you can take semester 1, you can take P1, one and the other one next. The last question here was about CIMA exemption. I think it was just unclear. But the question was CQ exemptions, fees, study plan for CIMA. I think the greater part of our presentation was addressing those, and we went through the exemptions. So, I think with this, we've taken you through the CIMA qualification, your questions about us, post-COVID study options. I've answered the questions that we have. I'm not sure if anyone has more questions. I know we may have questions online, but I'll start here first with a question, then maybe we'll take one online. No. So I know where you saw that. I think you probably saw it on our website where you see the study packages. So that is an exam practice. It's a very small book. It's a very small exam practice book. Here is this where your question is. So the practice kit has got a lot of questions. So we just put a plus minus 1,000 OT questions. So these are from Kaplan. These ones are from BP. It's not some online questions and then we put it together. It's a book. It's actually published by Kaplan. You can actually have a look as you do. If it's online, again, it will be online, but it's an OT question. So it's not grouped from Aspanti and everything like a tailored. No. It's just online.
All right, there's one online question here. It's from Naomi. It's more related to the CIMA qualification and work experience requirements. So Naomi is saying, concerning experience to be a CIMA member, is it any type of work experience or it's specific work?
Okay. So CIMA has got, so according to their competency framework, your work experience, I know CIMA, they've got two routes, the older way and the new way of work experience. But if we look at, there is actually a document with a PER, and we don't have it here. But your work experience is on their website. So the work experience that CIMA requires you should be around this competency framework, where CIMA is trying to make sure that they are members out of when they finish the CIMA qualification. So if it's technical skills, there are certain areas. I think what we can do is, Naomi, I think we can send you a link where you can get this, or if anyone online can help her. There is a technical, there are certain areas. What work were you doing? Were you preparing budgets? Or what financial data were you working with? So yes, there is certain work experience which is aligned to the CIMA competency framework that CIMA needs from you. You can't come with 3 years, just HR work experience. You can't be signed off. Though there are people's elements in there, it might be for a certain period of time, but it will not account for all the work experience required. So yes, work experience within the CIMA qualification framework, you will get your PER signed. So there is a certain document that CIMA has prepared which shows you all the work experience requirements and in the certain areas that they need. I hope that answers the question. So is there another question here? Okay, we can always take individual questions. Yes. So which level? Okay.
Then you are just get it back. Then you it's what you are.
Sure, not a problem.
So apply if you want to this one.
Okay, all right. I hear your question. Yes, it's a valid question, and at so the time they dedicate then to P1 will be a little bit more because you don't want to fail that exam. But P1 and F1, so that's the best. All right. I know there were no questions online, and it seems our internet dropped for online students. I don't know if Privilege, you can confirm if you're hearing me. Okay, there are no questions. All right. I think from our side, we've addressed everything, and I hope this session has been beneficial to everyone today. We can take maybe your question. I think we can close the session because I think more time than we have. But if you have any further questions, I'll be here to support you. If you want to register, we can support you with registration. You can get books today. Remember, if you want to claim the discount, 30%, you've got until Monday. But on that note, I would like to close the session. For those who are online, apologies for the technical challenge. We are just closing the session. You can send us questions. I think on the slide there is our email address. All right, so that is my email address, and that's the email address. Some questions you probably want to address a little bit later. We do have a WhatsApp number. I think the board is so online, those are our email addresses and our contact numbers. So you can also send us a WhatsApp message, email. I'm sure our team members have also been sending you emails. You are also free to email them and ask any questions. But on that note, I would like to thank you again for coming through, spending your Saturday with us. And sorry, I think someone wants to go. But enjoy the rest of your weekend, and thank you so much.